whole race. Getting it off the line is one of the toughest things you can do. Get 5 lights up. And the Bathurst Enduro is underway this Winfield Race start from the front runners and the TMX boys as well inside of the top 10 as they run round turn number 1. Lawrence got a good start away. They've kept themselves nice clean and consistent. Five lights, and we're underway at Suzuka for the final race of the season. It's a scramble towards turn 1 for the front runners and the whole field in behind as Mazzaroli leads them through one already. Davison and Sinise wanting to try and keep right on the tail of Doug Gowans. Mazzaroli wants to try and hang out the front all evening as well. Faze there, Katakazinas.
Still going at each other here. 3 minutes down, we've got 70 minutes to go. We're getting around a lot of time. Just 1 minute 21 lap times here. We're not going to stop. Shane Rackler by now as well. Ray Oliver has got Bradley Wall alongside. Looks like Daniel Harding has had some form of incident. We'll pick up on that one in a minute. But Oliver on the inside, got to come back behind him.
Just absolutely Superman punched him straight into the wall on the right, on the left hand.
BBL for the summer. Unfortunately, that is... Hang on. I'm just reading a memo there, Dan. Are we good? Do you want to go again, Sinka?
All good.
Oh, dear. Where do I go with? No, let's just get on the straight and narrow and remind everybody of what is going on here this evening. That is what would be the track map, but unfortunately, because it's so new, it's so fresh, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have the Adelaide Street Circuit track map there for you. But you know it, you love it, you know that it is one of the more revered circuits right around the world. It's had two lives, two iterations, of course, firstly through the 80s into the 90s as a home of the Formula One World Championship, and then, of course, into the modern era with the Australian Supercar Championship in its various different guises and sponsorships. However, it is a fresh slate for all these guys, and it's going to be pretty hairy as you have a look at the Adelaide Street Circuit for the first time on the platforms of not only SRW and FDL, but also the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. We've been waiting for this baby to launch all year. It has arrived. It has done so only 4 days ago. And everybody is on edge tonight, waiting to see who will prevail as the first victor of the Australian Open World Nationals on this circuit. And, of course, with that, it'll be an historic 6th edition of the Nationals, Sinka. The GSRC have had a pretty good run. They're up against it tonight. FDL and SRW are here. They mean business. Whoever tames this beast will have done a remarkable job to have done so. There's the scenic shots that you're seeing from the streets of Adelaide now, ladies and gentlemen. Our first look at it on the iRacing platforms. It may be the 6th Australian Open World National Sinker, but it's the first time we've thrown a blank canvas at these guys and said, have at it. It's also the 3rd Australian venue in a 3rd different state that we've played on in the time that we've been running this event. It's going to be a hell of a night.
It's going to be spectacular. I get goosebumps every time we sit in this chair and start this off. And then by the time we start this off, I get palpitations because I'm sitting there going, are my boys going to dump it again after they had some amazing chances in the first 2 iterations of this? But we saw the powerhouse of the FDL last season. We thought they weren't going to get it through at the end, and then they just come out of nowhere. And then Gentleman Sim Racing Club stole it like the 2 before it as well. So I'm not going to do a nudie run tonight. I haven't even going to put my name out there for that at all. I'm just going to have my fingers crossed and quietly be unbiased as we watch these boys out there put on the show and showcase some of the most amazing talented drivers in open wheel in Australia. So it's going to be an absolute pearler, mate. I'm sitting here biting at the teeth waiting for it to start.
Nathan Michael, quite right there with his feedback. Got to give iRacing a pat on the back for the work they've done here. Absolutely. It looks a treat. You would tune in if you weren't a regular. You'd tune in and swear it was the real world equivalent. The only thing that would give off vibes that it is not is obviously that time of day. We're approaching sunset in the City of Churches at the moment. And, of course, the fact that I'm in the commentary box because that's the only way I'm going to South Australia anytime soon. Here are the track and weather settings for you, ladies and gentlemen. We're set back to July 2025. 10:04 in the morning, 9 km/h winds in a mostly south to southwesterly direction, 90 degrees in the ambient, 22 on track, partly cloudy conditions, and dry so far. Well, we just upped the rain at Mount Panorama last time out. That threw everybody under the bus. This time round, it's dry, but the feedback I've been getting so far, Sinka, is that, and Dan Yeaman's here as well, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to have Yeaman on the buttons for us tonight, in the absence of Dan Correa-Sar and, of course, all our various previous producers before that. Dan's been so used to doing play-by-play this term for the platforms of Gentleman Sim Racing Club that he's now sliding back into what is normally his natural habitat, so it's great to have him in the booth and involved in the broadcast. But the feedback I've been getting, one, Josh Zuno messaged me the other day, Sinker, and he's a little bit worried that this might end up becoming a bit of a show and shine, a bit of a parade lap. He was a bit concerned about how much of a presence the safety car might have, particularly with regards to how everybody gets through those first couple of laps.
It's always the case. You bring a new track on, full field, a lot of people adrenaline pumping, but then they all surprise you. You know, I've had some tracks in the SAW series where we think this is going to be complete carnage, and the drivers just take it back that notch, and then all of a sudden it's all cool. But I'm still expecting the safety car to come out Because once these boys hit between these white walls and they start putting the pedal down and they get the opportunity to pass, it's going to go hot like leather, mate. It's going to go crazy. Yeah, and, if there's a safety car, there is. But, the drivers didn't like the wetness at Bathurst.
No.
But the spectators, how much did the spectators love it? How much did we love it? It just brought the show to the next level. So, a bit of reality. It can't always be easy. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for everyone on track.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's almost as though wet weather has been vetoed by the drivers that participated in the Australian Open World Nationals at Mount Panorama. Such was the calamity of the puddles and the aquaplaning and everything else left behind there. There were a few written off motor cars and a few walking wounded and a few bruised and battered egos that night. Now, let's have a look at some times there on the left-hand side of your screen. Let's highlight a couple of things. That's a car going off for sure. You saw the plume of smoke going in behind that out of the centre chicane. There it is in the background. We'll pick up who that is in just a moment. We're in the closing stages of qualifying here. Jackson Rayhana has gone to the top, and that's the big news. After featuring as a prominent member of the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club for quite some time, Rayhana is now part of the FDL squad. So that is how desperate FDL and SRW are, ladies and gentlemen, to wrestle the crown, the jewel away from the platforms of the GSRC. They're now in recruitment overdrive, wheeling and dealing with the big stars of the GSRC. Rayhana leads. Jed Van Hemert, I should say, is there in second position. Sam Mott third. Then Stephen Bull, Tom Donahue, Mark Hilly. Stephen Bull and Sam Chapman, the two best placed GSRC representatives at this point in time. And then it's a long way back to Brendan Grosh in 15th place. 1 minute 12.177 the standing time around here at the moment. And there are some big gaps towards the back end of the field, but there are some very, very tiny, small, narrow gaps at the front of this field. 300s, 500s, 100s. 0.17 of a second, 0.01, 01, 02, 04, and then dead heats in 10th and 11th.
The top, gone to the top again.
Oh, there you go. So Rayhana's just lowered the benchmark. 1 minute 12.004. Could we see an 11 in this session? We'll find out. But as a result of that, I'm looking down my list here. The top 18 is all I've got on my screen without scrolling, Sinker. 0.82. 0.82 of a second is what covers for the top 18 at the moment. This is crazy stuff. We expected nothing less. We'd hoped for nothing less. And it looks as though we're set up for a tantalising hour of play in just a few moments' time. Now, on the subject of play, I was mentioning it. I'm not sure if I was audible at the time. Big night, big day. Obviously, the start of the BBL for the summer is tonight, Perth and Sydney. Rain delay at the moment. I'll let you know as soon as that one gets underway when we go around the grounds. We are aware as we go to where of the events unfolding in Bondi as well. I would suggest that you go to 7 or 9 or Sky or the ABC for rolling coverage of the awful events that have unfolded down on Bondi Beach this afternoon. We will press on as normal programming because this has been scheduled for some time. But if you are tuning in hoping for normal programming on your regular television networks this evening, I would dare say that is not going to play out that way. 14 minutes gone in qualifying. It's a 20-minute session. We're watching Jackson Rayhana. He's still sitting there on a 1 minute 12.004. 1 minute 12.468 for, 2:03 for Jed Van Hemert. And then you go back to Ryan Cox, Sam Mort, and Stephen Bull, the top five. Sebastian Eskandari wedges himself up in the second spot. Beautifully done. Right there. So, Sinka, it's not looking good for either of us at the moment. FDL 1-2, SRW 3-4, and GSRC 6 and 9 at this point in time. I'm not touching those two with the barge pole. But what I will say to you is, of all the nights that you could have put the nudie run on the table, and it would have actually probably been a good thing in terms of the temperature and the climate, and probably an option of cooling you down rather than going out and bracing yourself for a dose of pneumonia. You've taken it off the table. So it's interesting that you've gone and put it on the table for the coldest part of the year and not the warmest.
Well, mate, I'm not afraid of the shrinkage factor in the cold, mate. That's probably why. But the times out there are absolutely spectacular. You're looking at 12:04 as the fastest, and it takes it all the way down to 20th place for a second gap. So that is amazing. This is going to be a hectic race out there. So you might see a lot of the blue, a lot of the greens at the top end, but it doesn't mean that the guys at the rear end of this grid are any lesser drivers, because there's some spectacular names and drivers all the way down there out of both teams. So no shame in being down there. Everyone should be stoked that they are actually involved in this and participating at this annual event. Would you call it an annual event? It's bi-seasonal, isn't it?
No. Well, it's actually quad seasonal. It's every term. We've had four terms this year, so it's as seasonal as the weather. It's April. It's autumn, spring, winter, and summer. This is the summer edition of the Australian Open World Nationals, and we're on board now with Stephen Bull sitting there in position number 6. On your totem pole on the left-hand side of your screen there, folks, 3.5 minutes to rock and roll in this qualifying session. 3.5 minutes in which Jackson Rayhana has to try and hold on to pole position at the moment. I will go through in a moment. There's 38 cars out there at this point. We go all the way down to, I just want to get the number right here, position number 20, before we're talking about a margin of any more than a second from the pole sitter to that car. 0.89 covers first through 20th at this point. Sinka, talk us through the ins and outs. I mean, for the benefit of everybody tuning in on the left-hand side of the screen, on that totem pole there, you will have the numbers with the green background of the FDL boys, the numbers with the red background, of course, the SRW crew, and of course our GSRC faithful sitting there with the red number on the blue plate at this point. Sinka, you mentioned it there earlier, there's no shame in being last in this field, but that could actually potentially be a good thing, because the more time that you've got to plan your move, you need reaction time here. You're going to be arriving on scene, you're going to be seeing cars spearing left and right, clouding the wall at turn 8, etc. and so forth. We know the trip up to this circuit, it's going to be worse than an open wheel. They're going to be carrying more speed. There's Denny Davison with another spin at this point in time. The ins and outs of this race are known very well for those of us that have been here since the start. As we say, this is number 6 now. We've been here for 5 of these before, all on different circuits. This is the first time we've, of course, attacked a street circuit for the Australian Open World Nationals. That is also worth noting. But you've got to be in it to win it. You've got to play the strategic game as much as you've got to do anything else. Just surviving can sometimes be a victory in its own right. And we've seen guys be able to make their way through the field from, well down, deep in the order on numerous occasions in the past, based purely on strategy and a bit of good fortune.
Yeah, look, mate, I almost forgot the question you asked me at the beginning of that. But it was a long one. I'm going to get the dictaphone out and start recording you. Look, some of these boys aren't going to be fast qualifiers, so it's not going to be like you said. You don't need to be at the very start of this race, at the very beginning of it, at the very top pointy end of it. There's going to be a lot of peeps that are going to come through. Jamie Davis is one of those guys who doesn't qualify well, but races really hard and fast, and he gets to move a lot of places. This season alone, he averaged anything from 10 to 15 places up to grid to get himself to podiums. You know that people like Dougie Gowans in our series, very consistent drivers, are going to get. And we know from history that Sam Chapman in 12th place right now, the GSR lad, is always in the hunt, mate, no matter where he is, as Steve Bull just goes round and then crashes it.
Yes, so it goes to pole and then crashes it. 1:11.937. Stephen Bull, the Jets has put it on pole. You bloody beauty.
Well, that's going to even it up a bit, mate.
End of the session. Have a look at this.
So we'll have a bit of time. It won't be just. It won't be at the 19.
Sinker to try and match it, beat it, or better it, whatever. But the benchmark is set, and this is Jackson Rayhana's last roll of the dice.
It is, but don't forget, they've got to cross the line just before the 20 finishes. Not a cut-off. It's not a heat session, so it's going to continue. So they've got to cross that line, and they'll still have a bit of a poke at it. So even if he doesn't quite make it, he hasn't missed the point line. But here he is, Stephen Bull at the top spot. Who we got that's still available for a time?
No improvement from Rayhana. Wow, 1 minute 12.138.
Ridley's on all greens.
Eskandari.
Yeah. Adams has got himself a green and red.
So Bull, Rayhana Eskandari, Hammett, and also Cox, Mort, Donahue, Hilly, Ball and Ryder at the moment, the top 10. FDL dominate the top 10. Edwards has just improved to 9th, displaced Borg and Ryder. And Milner in 12th, relegating Chapman to 13th. Stephen Bull, U-Star. Have a look at this. Can he hold on? Can he survive the onslaught of the final segment of the session? The last roll of the dice. This should just about be it. We should be at the end here and now. These should be the last cars crossing the line, based on the fact that 1:12 is about the threshold around here. There it is. That's the end of the session as far as I'm concerned. And Stephen Bull has gone pole, and Chapo's improved to 11th to the 10th as well. Oh, the GSRC boys saving their best until last in every sense of the word. And there's only one of them in the 10, but it's on the position that matters. It's on pole. Stephen Bull, our GSRC Indy NXT Series champion, has gone out and claimed the first pole position for him in the Australian Open World Nationals. Oh, first pole for GSRC, and we will rank underdogs tonight.
Oh, you still are a ranked underdog, mate. We both are. When you've got the names of Iskander and Jackson Rehan in front of you, and then you've got more Donahue, Hilly, Edwards, Borg, all sitting there, and then there's a few of us blue and red squares sitting there too. It's all the difference out there. It really is. But you know what? We've seen it before. It's anyone's game, and it's going to be sensational as we rip through the order for the Australian Open Wheel Nationals. Ladies and gents, on the front row, Stephen Bull from Rapid Team Rennsport, beside Jackson Rehan from Summit Sim Racing. In the second row, we've got Seb Iskandri from Team Maxi Boost, Jed Van Ermit from Vermilion esports team. Ryan Cox from Tate and Res Tech in the third row, beside Sam Mort from Bayonet Racing. Tom Donahue, FTL principal, is in the row 7 beside Mark Hill, beside him in 8th. I've just lost my sense of where they are. Craig Edwards in the 5th row from Fusion Sim Racing, beside Ryan Borg from Proline Esports. You can take the next 10, mate.
All right, race 6, as we slide over the page there for you, ladies and gentlemen. And no mucking around here. There's no grid walks. There's no nothing. There's no showmanship. We're just rolling straight into this, ladies and gentlemen. 11th on this grid is Sam Chapman alongside Kane Ryder from Team Max Boost. Angus Milner and Alex Stevens will share the 7th row. A former front-running regular of this event, Denny Davison, shares the 8th row with Scott Barchin. Greg Cook and Brendan Grosh from 9. Doug Gowans and Mitchell Albert will round out the top 20.
It's looking spectacular. In the 11th row, we've got Travis As a Party from the Whiskey Business Racing, beside Jason Depp from SLM Academy. In the 12th row, Paul Rogers from 75 Sim Sports, beside Nicholas Martin of Get a Grip. In the 13th row, Kyle Ridley from SLM Motorsports, beside Jeff Adams from Subpar Racing. And in the 14th row, Alex Azikas from JMR, beside Jonathan Harris from 75 Sim Sports. Jamie Davis from the Projects 36 team, and Tristan McLaren from Everything Simulator in row 15.
Rounding out this enormous grid, row 16 is where you're going to find Vaughan Ryder. Watch him to tear through the field, so too Adam Lavis. Nathan Verney and Siobhan McKernan make up the 17th row. And it's all SRW to round out this enormous field. Andrew Martin, Thomas Sinner, and then you go back to Matt Tesorio and Timothy Schmallenberg. So here we go. We're ready to rock and roll, ladies and gentlemen. The 6th edition of the Australian Open World Nationals. Sinker, who should tip and why?
There's no tip, mate. I wouldn't even try to risk it to give anyone the Moz, mate. But I'm going to go for an outsider like Dougie Gowans coming through after the front end just tears themselves apart through some of these chicanes, you know. But watch these boys coming from everywhere. Watch the pace, watch the battles, because it's going to be hair raising. And ladies and gentlemen, like, subscribe, but both all our servers, and also share it out there. Get as many butts on their seats watching this, because these boys deserve it.
Did miss the memo there. Josh Duno's just alerted us that 4 drivers, I think one was Timothy Schmallenberg, the 664, will have a pit lane start here. So already those boys got an invoice. They've got a rod for their own back there for the balance of the evening, because overtaking on this circuit, not the easiest thing to achieve. And also with the pace and calibre of this field, trying to work your way through is not going to be easy either, and they'll have to wait for them all to pass the exit of the pit lane before they are released. Like, subscribe, as Sinka said. This is the 6th edition of the Australian Open World Nationals for the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. This is the final bit of business, the last night of school for 2025. Can we just have a look at this point in time, please, Dan Yeaman, at the weather details there, because they've updated as we switched up into the new server, into the race session here. I'll remind everybody that we've gone to 10:30 in the morning, very early start. Have a look at that, especially for winter, July 31. So I'm a bit concerned, actually, at the amount of people out there slacking off. Have a look at how packed that grandstand is for what was a weekday this year. That was a Thursday. Have a look at the amount of people taking the day off work and chucking a sickie for a Thursday server at the Adelaide Street Circuit.
One thing you mentioned earlier on was the poor buggers that are going to be around the corner. 29th place, Jamie Davis is the first one on the corner. You can just see him at the very end there, so it's not too far. I think we're not too far from starting, mate, so get your seats buckled, get your popcorn ready, make sure that no one returns your calls, turn your phones off, because you're going to hear Zach go off in a few minutes, ladies and gentlemen, for the MOZA Racing Australian Open Wheel Nationals. Buckle those belts up, it's going to be a ripper.
Is it 6th time lucky for our good friends from Sim Racing World? Will FDL go back-to-back, or can our GSRC boys complete their hand and get their 5th Australian Open Wheel National title secured? We're about to find out. We're 15 seconds away from one of the great spectacles in Australian sim racing, ladies and gentlemen, on a new playground, a blank canvas, a clean slate, and we've got an hour ahead of us in which to determine who will be the triumphant and the devastated of this playing field tonight. We are ready to rock and roll. The Australian Open World Nationals for Term 4 of 2025, the 6th annual. 3, 4, 5, let's go! Watch them through the first quarter. They're going to have to treat them with respect. Great start from Stephen Bull, and even Eskandari up on the inside of Rayhana. Hold your breath, Australia, as they get their way through the first corner. Stephen Bull has prevailed with the race lead. A magnificent start from Bull on the run down towards Wakefield Street.
There's been nothing going in the background, man. All clear. A bit of puff of smoke coming from the rear end as the boys all funnel into the single rows. But everyone's coming around nice and cleanly. Everyone's got their brains in check and are going for it nicely.
Jackson Rayhana had to clear that slow down. Has got rid of it now on the run down towards turn 8. Who's going to be the first to clear out the wall down here in race mode? Let's wait and see. The run down towards turn 9. Clear so far, but Rayhana's got Ryan Cox for company there on the run up to the left-hander. He's good. Cox has made a great start. Then Hammond is in there as well. Morton, Hilly and Borg and Donahue down the inside. Rayhana relegated again. Side by side down the main straight we go. Hammett's up there on the outside. Rayhana down the inside trying to get by Ryan Cox. Will go to third on the run down to turn 1. Well played.
Bit of hand-in-mouth moment then as he went straight across the apex and took the curbs out. He slowed himself down a little bit, but these boys side by side are not giving up any inch already early into the race. As you can see them under brakes, and it's this tight track. They've got some big cojones, some of these lads.
Indeed they do. So far so good. Let's just have a look down through the order, and I can tell you that we've got Schmellenberg at the back there. Schmellenberg, Stevens, Ridley and Tesorio that started from pit lane. Travis has a party. He's on the tow rope and on pit road right now. Oh, trouble for Schmellenberg at turn 1. And he's on the tow rope as well. Now, are they allowed to legally tow?
Yes, they are. They've been told by race control they can tow.
Okay.
So they've called that out. Race control's given them clearance to tow. So once they're in tow, they'll be in repair mode and they can come back out on the track.
So no safety car deployed as a result of that. We just keep going.
Keep going. Keep the pedal to the metal. Don't let it go at all.
Nah, that's a bit of a change.
Oh, look at that. Oh, he's really taking those curves. Oh.
2 isolated incidents there. One for Azzopardi and one for Schmellenberg. We'll get the Schmellenberg replay for you here and now on the run down towards turn 1. And you're right.
Oh, he's got himself fully rotated. Oh, and just missed Cole Ridley as he landed back on the track, and he's rotating forward. Hold your brakes, son. Hold your brakes. One of the biggest rules you can't break.
Yeah.
Oh,
and that's the thing as well. That comment on the right-hand side of the screen from Mick the Stig, correct. You can't park there.
Can't park there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're still up there at the moment. We've got Mark Healy. You can see him from the Drop Bears Motorsports team, and the boys are all tagging in behind them, very cleanly coming through. A few boys have taken to hump and jump these chicanes, and it's not coming off well. Oh, we've got a Bingle in the back. We've got a big stack in the hairpin, big stack. There's going to be a lot more coming through. Hold your brakes, hold your brakes. Oh, he's just moved into the front of him. Tom Donahue has just kissed that wall again.
That might well. Let's see if they can get it out of there and clean. He's beached it. He's gone. That's going to be that. Tom Donahue has beached it on the ripple strip at the exit of the famous turn 9, the hairpin at the end of the back straight. Oh dear.
It's a mess
Dale
out
Sharp,
there.
It does suck for Trav Party, unfortunately. Dale, good evening to you.
All right, they're all calling that in at the moment. Sorry, mate. I've got race control. They're all going a bit off
right.
in the background. There are a few cars going in the pits as well to get themselves fixed up. But we are racing at the front end. There is no safety car at the moment. We are still good to go. Few people, if you notice, a few people are attacking these chicanes a bit harder. The yellow flags that you're seeing coming up, they're the people that are getting slowdowns. Yep, still around. Look at that.
No. It's a car park. Have a look at it. Adam Lavis caught
That's
up
a
in
fresh
that,
incident, isn't it?
No,
That's a fresh one.
Right, my apologies. That's all live as we see it, Steve.
Oh, look at the walls.
That was on the exit of the first sector as they're heading up towards the right-hander to take them down. So that was six. That was at the end of turn 6, and then on the run to turn 7 before they head down to the famed turn 8. There's a slowdown for Eskandari. There's mechanical meatball flags being heard out for McKernan and McLaren. And Ryder as well. Oh no, trouble at the front!
Cox has gone.
And he was in the top 5 as well! The first casualty at the top end.
Oh, look at that. Edwards is up there as well. Oh, someone's hit Cox coming through as well. Oh no. My goodness, how can you not see that car? Safety car's been called, viewers. Safety car has been called. Whoa, that was just...
utter carnage, Sinka.
This is, I'll tell you what, safety car's been called. So, the person who is the responsible for the safety car won't get to get unlapped, but the guys that are out there, if they can get themselves out, they'll get a chance to unlap themselves while they're going through in the safety car mode. But this is catastrophe for SRW. Cox, one of the lead drivers, is gone.
It's looking very good for Stephen Wool at the moment. Mark Healy goes to pit lane, takes that opportunity as soon as the safety car is deployed to come in and top up. Sam Chapman, Angus Milne follow him in. And it'll be interesting to see how they play it strategically. I'm not sure they can get home on one stop, but top it up under the safety car. We reckon we'll probably get 2 or 3 tonight. Have a look at it. It's a car park. It's ridiculous. The safety car out there on the circuit collects the leader, Stephen Bull, and they'll make their way around. They will clear that incident in due course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them parked on the run up to Wakefield Street. My goodness gracious me. Have a look at the casualty list so far, righto? So, in pit lane at the moment, Vaughan Ryder and Travis Azzopardi. Azzopardi's just rejoined the race. The safety car now leading the field for the first time tonight. We've got replay files coming your way now, ladies and gentlemen, to show you what happened. This is Vaughan Ryder.
He's just touched the back
Hello,
of him.
Dan Yeaman. Good evening to you.
Oh no, he didn't hold his brakes either. Oh no. Oh look, that's going to be a big one to unpack for race control down there. There's a lot going on there. Not holding brakes, coming around a corner, tagging the rear end. We'll leave that to them to go through, but
Ryan
it's
Cox.
just the aggression over those humps. It's
And
like we
once you're
said
there,
earlier.
Sinker, you've got no control. The Team Max Boost entry, that one's an isolated incident. That's gone in on its own. It's gone in after Cox.
Yeah. And you watch Cox now in the replay. He gets pounded again while he's standing there. Someone comes around that corner. But the attacking... Oh, look at that.
Bang! Oh, up and over.
Kane Ryder gets thrown into that fence. I hope he's not in VR. I really don't hope. That will give you a bit of... Oh, look at this. Craig Edwards as well. Oh, so Craig Edwards loses it into Ryder. Oh, man. This
That's
is...
an enormous shunt.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's pick it all apart. Sam Mort got the curve. So, again, another isolated incident. He's done that on his own. Alex Tzikis, Craig Edwards, Sam Mort, Ryan Cox, Kane Ryder, all on pit lane as we speak. Travis has a party. Is out there and is a lap down.
Someone's driven into a parked car. Oh, Alex Tzikis is driven into Coxie. Coming around that corner. Well, this is it. This is their learning curve, yeah? So you can't skip those curbs. You just lose too much traction. Wow. All right. Well,
let me try and make sense of all of that in terms of who's ended up on pit lane as a result of damage or incidents or chosen to stop under the safety car, boys. So you'll see it on the right-hand side of your, on the left-hand side of your screen, folks, the other right. You'll see it over there with regards to how many pit stops have played out so far. You'll see that Tristan McLaren has a black flag sitting next to his name. So he's got a drive-through penalty coming his way once we get back underway. For all his sins or otherwise, he's got a stop-go penalty. That's as big as some of the hits on Hindley at 2 a.m. or no. I'm not sure some of these comments are family friendly at the moment, but we'll see how we go. The good news is that everybody down to Mark Hilly, hey, what a master stroke from him. He's come back out in 12th spot. Best of those two have stopped so far. Down in behind that, Sam Chapman, Angus Milne, Jamie Davis, Jeff Adams have all stopped that time through. Matt Tesorio started from pit lane, can't count him. Adam Laver stopped at the end of lap 5. Paul Rogers at the end of lap 3. At the end of lap 5, Alex Stevens has done 2 stops. Siobhan McKernan stopped on lap 4, having been caught up in that incident earlier on. Kyle Ridley stopped for the 3rd time on lap 6. Tristan McLaren for the 2nd time on lap 6 at a 47-second stop. That's the penalty, hopefully cleared for him. Then you go back, Jason Depp and Doug Gowans. They've also stopped on lap 4. Down below that, you got Tom Donahue, Scott Barchin, Tim Schmallenberg, Vaughan Ryder, Ryan Cox, Kane Ryder, Craig Edwards, Sam Mort, Alex Tzikis, all a lap down. Travis has a party. He's going to find himself 2 laps down. And then, of course, the safety car leads the field, having completed... Actually, we've got 2 safety cars out there at the moment. They're both completing laps at this point in time. So that's how big the cleanup job is required at this point in time. That both the safety cars are out, ladies and gentlemen. And really, if you had a red flag feature that could be deployed within this service, boys, I think this would be the occasion in which you activate a race suspension, because, by gee, that was a nasty, nasty shunt.
Yeah. You know what? It looks like 3 individuals made 3 individual mistakes, and then it just spread onward. So, again, I think just too much aggression on those curbs has really pulled those guys undone. Hopefully they'll learn from here on, because we have only into the first 12 minutes at the moment. So we've still got ourselves a hell of a long race to go through. Some pit stops that have got to go through, some strategies that have got to go through. And like we said earlier, some of these drivers that have been smart about things are making their way through to the pointy end of the racing as well.
Nice to see some real-world racers tuning in tonight. Hello, JR. Good to have you tuning in, mate. Nice to have your company on a Sunday night. You're right, this restart is going to be off the chart. We'll wait and see when the safety car is going to pull away from the field. A couple of people asking the question as to who Adam Morvan is. I'm not sure. You might be able to fill me in on that one, Sinka. The GOAT spirit level engineer. Oh, yes, of course. Oh, no, the safety car's crashed now. What the bloody hell's going on the streets of Adelaide? Oh, unbelievable. Okay, so the Stephen fell back to green, and we've got the safety car on the wall now. That's how good
the safety car setup has got no traction control.
Oh no!
So they're struggling to keep that on its wheels. So in pre-practice, we saw the safety car go around 3 times. So it's been locked in, and no traction control for those guys.
Yeah. Now, the question is, the way they're weaving, I would say we're not going back to green this time by. We're just waiting for a safety car to pick up the field. So that's good. We're still trying to clear this mess up, ladies and gentlemen. We've got drivers to unlap themselves yet. There's so much to try and sort out. We have been racing for 13 minutes. We've only completed 8 laps. We're on lap 9. I'm not even going to try and get the calculator out and try and work out how many laps we're going to do this evening. That's just not possible at this point in time, because I've got a feeling that we're going to see the safety car more than once or twice. You need to hire a new safety car driver. Well, no, it's a traction control issue. And isn't it funny? Isn't it funny, right? And you would have heard this conversation as well, Sinka. It was prominent on the platforms of Gentleman Sim Racing Club. The safety car is in via the tow rope this lap. Yes, I did just say that. Sinka, the interesting thing for mine, right? We talk about the traction control and everything else, the ABS being a good thing, right? Unfortunately, unless you're a driver of a Porsche 992 Cup car, they're all having a whinge at the moment. They don't want the driver creature comforts. They're having an enormous whinge about them actually being implemented with the launch of the 992.2 on the sim racing platforms at the moment.
About to go live, mate. We're about to go live. So the safety car isn't out there at the moment. It's been they've been told it's been deployed. Basically, race control will call when the leader has the race, and then they will be told to stop weaving and get ready to go. So we're not too far off from here. So this, yes, is going to be crazy. All right,
Absolutely.
4-4-1. Bull has got control of the field at the moment. So the race is about to go live, ladies and gents. As soon as he feels fit to put the pedal down, he's going to put it down. Do the old Verstappen thing, pretend to warm the brakes, warm the car up, and all of a sudden just shoot off down the track. But we're coming up to it. When will he go?
Have a look at all the comments. Everybody talking about the safety car. That's fantastic. Set the rock and roll again on the streets of Adelaide. Bull will bring the field back to green. Eskandari and Rayhana in behind. Hammett and Borg in behind that. Let's go. Racing once more. Good start, Stephen Bull. Sebastian Eskandari behind. Then Jackson Rayhana. Then Hammett. Then Borg. Davison.
Oh, we can't go round.
Trouble.
Oh, Gowans. Van Hermit's gone. Oh. He's got to watch that re-entry. Well, we've got a couple of slowdowns as well, you can see up there, but we're still going. Bull's got nice and clear. He's got 3/10 off the back of Seb Eskander. He's got him coming through, putting the pressure on. Jackson Rehan behind him, followed by Ryan Borg, Danny Davidson, Nick Martin, Greg Cook, Jonathan J. Harris, and Brandon Grouch with Mark Hill round out your top 10 at the moment.
Down we go. Towards turn 8. Hold your breath. Through there they go. Back up to full speed. Hold your breath. Down into the turn 9 hairpin. And that's Mark Hilly on screen at the moment, out of there to 10 to 11. Run around the back of the circuit to the end of another lap. The end of lap 10. 16 minutes gone. Trouble for Nathan Verney. Parked up. Mechanical black flag. He's on his way to pit lane. Another casualty on the streets of Adelaide.
Yeah, it's still a bit messy in the background as well. A few things being called in, readdressing and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, Gowans has got himself a meatball. He just called in someone readdressing, so he looks like he's killed himself. Tell you what, though, it's not looking good out there for it's a Bix actually. It's not really going one way or the other, really, isn't it?
Sebastian Eskandari's taken the lead. Jackson Rayhana has gone through to second. And Stephen Bull has lost out here and has fallen back to third. Let's have a look at this. Brilliant slipstreaming draft work here from Eskandari. Oh, too wide to turn 8 if you don't mind. Oh,
he's hung in there, though. He hasn't given it up. It's just the draft was huge there. See the pace he got out of that. He's already 7/10 ahead, and he was a couple of tenths behind. So the draft is fairly powerful if you can get it right.
I love this Sinker, right? You got a youthful bloke still in his teens, kicking absolute backside of the world stage, obviously, but because of his youth, right, there's a certain level of exuberance and no fear. So caution to the wind, and he just throws it in there at turn 8 on lap 11. How good's that?
going to be a lot more. He's going to be keeping going because we're only into the 18th minute mark of this, so we've got another 40 minutes to
Top of
go.
the back.
Oh, more.
Brendan Grosh in the wall.
Oh.
Oh, no.
All I can say, mate, I'm glad it's a GSR car for a change.
I was going to say, it is slightly heartbreaking for us guys aligned with the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club to see the logo so beautifully presented on the side of that car. We don't want to be seeing the side of it, but we're getting a good look at it with all the spins and the skirmishes that all and sundry have enjoyed so far this evening. And that's the point. Max Bush just confirming it for us that Seb is still only 12 years old. No wonder there's no fear there. That's as I say, I saw the kid win a Cadet 9 state championship in Queensland, and that's Nick Martin dropping down the order, plummeting down the order, and that's going to be a very long stop and hold for him, waiting for everybody to go past. And the field bunched up against Sinka as he tries to rejoin the circuit and does so in 24th.
And this is the case because it's a very, very tight grid. If you ever look at it and they're coming down, there's a few little packs that are separate, but everywhere else it's all tight. And you don't have the space to be able to just pop straight back in. You've got to find it and wait for it.
Main straight again, another lap gone. This is lap 13. 1 minute 12.275 for Jackson Rayhana, fastest lap of the race. It amounts for very little at this point. There are no bragging rights with regards to the fastest lap right now. That was Vaughan Ryder into the wall. On replay. We'll wait and see. Doug Gowans has been caught up in this unfortunate... Oh, no, that's unfortunately silly from Vaughan Ryder.
No.
That's just a little bit silly. Vaughan and Doug both find themselves on pit lane, and we still have, somehow, in amongst all of that calamity, we still have 36 cars on the racetrack, boys.
We do, because it's a long race, so these boys are going to come back, and all it takes is another safety car or two, and the chances of that are still fairly high to get yourself back in the grid. We saw Chapman win the championship like that. I think it was in his last incarnation. The safety car brought him back into the fold after he was down the mid-pack for most of the race, and he got himself in a position where he took the run and won it.
They're just easing into it at this point, aren't they? No, Nick, I jinxed you. Yeah, absolutely. That's nothing like the commentator's curse or the commenter's curse in this instance. But the funny thing for mine, 1 minute 12.168 for Jackson Rayhana is now the new fastest lap of the race. You're following him by looking out the rear of Sebastian Eskandari, Super Formula Light, to Jackson Rayhana. Down to turn 8 they go. And Rayhana with the slipstream there. Eskandari on the defence down to turn 9. This is the battle between the two FDLs. And we've got another big crash to show you in a moment, ladies and gentlemen. This could be safety car number 2.
Just one car, two cars. Car 95, car 70, both asking for a tow at the moment. Look at that.
Oh, no. Another
Safety
car
is called.
absolutely destroyed. Make
Safety
it 2.
car is called.
Second one of the night.
Oh.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
There we go. Everyone's jumping in. We are at the 20-minute mark, so that's roughly where we expected pits to start coming. But it looks like some of these boys are pitting because they need to get that damage, but there'll be a big group at the pointy end. Yeah, these are big boys at the front. We'll pit because it's time to pit.
Correct. They're just limping into pit lane at this point. They're just parked up there, grabbing their splash and dash and getting back out onto the racetrack once more. Open or fixed sets, boys? That's a good question from Nathan
Fixed set.
Michael.
It's all fixed set.
All fixed.
Was that Ryan Cox that was out on the side on his car then? I think that's that's his second incident. So a lot of these boys are going to be already through the pits and had their fast repair. They've only got one fast repair in this series, so anyone who's going back in for their second repair is going to be up on the sticks for some time.
Probably looking at an early retirement,
minute.
you would say. Oh, Matt Tesorio is another casualty in this. So he's involved in this incident that's triggered the safety car as well. We'll have a look at how in a moment on the GSRC replay, courtesy of Dan Yeaman, who is currently working overtime trying to keep up with all the incidents that have played out so far. For you, Hutto, no, I don't have a meatball counter, but I'll try and work on that. Nathan Birdie, the first of the incidents. Let's have a look at this. Yep. Letting cars pass, so that's all good. Good drive, etiquette there. Let's go. Brendan Grosh, this was what triggered the knock-on
that same
domino
curve.
effect.
So here he comes around. That's a replay. Here's the big one.
This is Nick Martin.
Oh, he's
down
just
towards
depression
turn
lock
9,
up there.
missed the corner. Yep, missed the turn.
He was doing well up until that point too.
Agonising.
This is Cox.
Oh,
No, it's not. That's Tristan McLaren. Oh. Here we go. So there's Donahue.
Tom Donahue.
Spin round. Oh, and look at Coxie go straight over the top of him. Oh, and there's Matasario as well. Coxie, you're in sim. Oh my God.
Oh no.
Oh, look, I'm his new team principal. I'm not paying for neck damage in that one. I tell you what.
Aren't you glad? Aren't you glad this is a virtual event tonight? Jeez.
Oh my God! Did you see the rotation on that hit?
Yeah.
He went full over the top. He did an Alonso over the top of Donahue. Oh, look at that! Oh my God! Oh, here we go. Look at this. Look at this. Donahue's on the side. Coxie going straight through him and over the top. Used him as a ramp.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. That is one hell of a mess out there, viewers.
So, at this point, let's run through, right? Greg's still on pit road and the safety car still getting repaired. Vaughan Ryder, Doug Gowans, Tom Donahue, Ryan Cox, Kane Ryder, Matt Cesario, all on pit road at the moment. Paul Rogers has come back to pit road and has been there for 50 odd seconds now as well. There's an enormous casualty list forming here at this point. And again, if you are in a position where you've already burnt your fast repair, it's a long road back. And that's the point, right? It's
100%.
Only one instance, right, with fixed setups, only one instance whereby you can go back to pit lane, hit the automatic refresh button, reset, fresh, brand spanking new race car, just as the other was set up, good to go again. We used to have spare cars be able to be called upon for drivers in the event of a red flag in Formula One. Not so these days. But this is iRacing's equivalent. One fast repair and away you go. That's a good question from Uncle Hutto. Points update. We'll get to that very shortly. Dan Yeoman's working on that for us, courtesy of the system that Matty Schmidt and a few others have drawn up before that. Safety car is going around for another lap. It's got Sebastian Eskandari trying to get a bump draft off it at the moment. Jackson Rayhana, Stephen Bull, Jonathan Harris up in 4th place at this point in time. Interesting to note as well, Eskandari, Rayhana and Bull have not yet stopped, nor has John Harris, but look who has. Sam Chapman in 5th. And Milne in
He's
6th.
got himself to the pointy end again, mate.
In 7th, 8th and 9th have not yet. Oh boy, there's a lot to pick apart in all of that. A lot to pick apart. Sebastian Eskandari is the race leader. There are 7 drivers in the top 10 that haven't yet stopped, plus Nick Martin down in 16th. So a lot of drivers have opted not to transit the lane just yet, and it's almost getting to the point, Sinker, where they could look at this and say, you know what, boys? One, stop it.
So as you can reading it there, safety car will be pulling into the pit. Going to be in 90 Ks, but the big movers out there at the moment. Jonathan J. Harris is up 24 places into 4th place. Thomas Sonny Cena up 28 place into 8th. Andrew Martin, son of Nick Martin, or vice versa, in 26th place. I can never get it right. 26 places up into 9th place. So there's a big movers out there at the moment. Chappie has done what I expected him to do, mate. Take advantage of the safety cars and slowly progress forward, and he's got up there to the 5th place. He is going to be dangerous in that spot.
Indeed he is. I've got just enough time, I think, to squeeze in and around the grounds update before we go back green here, gentlemen. So let me do that. The WBBL, of course, last night won by the Hobart Hurricanes in the grand final at Ninja Stadium in Hobart. And now in an 11 over a side fixture, the Sydney Sixers 2 for 21 playing the Perth Scorchers. They lost the toss, did the Sixers. The Scorchers chose to field. The Sixers 2 for 21. We're getting ready to rock and roll again on the streets of Adelaide. You'll have to bear with me, folks. I've got a little bit of a skippy sort of feed coming through tonight, but I'm persevering with it as best I can. I know it's not an internet connection issue, so I'm not sure what's going on. It might be a Discord thing. Back to green we go on the streets of Adelaide. Eskandari leads us down to the first corner. And now we've got our fingers crossed, boys, that we can get through cleanly and as safely and unscathed this time round. But I have my doubts. I have my reservations based on what we've already seen tonight.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be more. Especially when it starts
Harris
to heat
and
up.
Chapman, all with a slowdown. All the GSRC
a
boys.
more.
A trifecta, a hat-trick.
Yeah, they've all followed each other too, so they've just, which makes sense, yeah, coming through. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard to keep it clean. These boys have gone, and the top 9 still yet to pit. So strategies are going to start coming into play as well. It's going to be very interesting, except for Angus, Mine, and Chapman. So strategies are going to come into play. But also, have these boys learnt anything about that curb? Are they going to jump over the crossover? They're going to try to avoid it a bit more. Are the smarter ones going to try to keep the pace and avoid them as well? If they go too wide in that corner.
Positions there at turn 9 as well, mate. So he's dropped down 2, having been up 24 at one point. He's now dropped to in the opening lap here. Hilly on the inside. That was aggressive and forceful. Oh, trouble! Gone! Mark Hilly. Uh-oh. Hold your breath. Hold your breath.
R64 has got themselves drive-through for passing a safety car without permission.
Oh, wow. Okay. Just gets worse, doesn't it?
Yep.
Mark Hilly back onto the main straight, but he's just dropped a chunk of spots. Oh, no, trouble and gone.
Danny Davis is out. I was just about to say look out for him because he's a smart driver and he's avoided incidents so far. And there goes the Moz just out of my brain.
The commentator's curse, eh? Eskandari and Rayhana. It's an FDL 1-2. It's Rowan Harris. Have a look at Davis. Oh, trouble. That's Shabul McKernan now. Wowee. On the tow rope. I'm not sure race control are too, keen on deploying a third safety car.
Look at this
soon
beautiful
after the
too
second.
wide.
This is magnificent as Rayhana takes the lead from Eskandari. And he's consolidates it as well. They're racing towards the only pit stop, I reckon, that they'll be inclined to do this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Round onto the main straight. So great to have so many of you tuning in, watching the broadcast as it plays out here, watching the Australian Open World Nationals, the 6th incarnation thereof, from the streets of Adelaide, and it's Jackson Rayhana leading from Eskandari as John O'Harris comes to pit lane.
With a meatball. You got McLaren's got himself a drive-through penalty. Davis
again.
is definitely meatballed again. Van Ermer's just hit, and look at that. Van Ermer, Martin, all getting slowdowns now.
Oh, trouble! Adam Lavis gone.
Oh no, Adam Maverick
He's saved it somehow.
Oh,
But then he's just driven it into the wall.
A lot of people starting to get slowdowns.
Yeah, actually, keep an eye on that because there could be a couple of penalties triggered by slowdowns.
There'll be a lot of people on the edge of points too. The way they've been attacking some of these curbs, there's definitely going to be people on the edge of points.
Jackson Rayhana was up early yesterday representing Australia on the world stage in this very thing we call iRacing, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get more on that from him a little bit later on, I'm sure. But it's been a very busy weekend for him, trying to learn 2 tracks and get himself ready for 2 separate events. It was a nations representation event, so he was representing Australia on the global stage yesterday. It was an early start, even more so for him because he lives on the wrong side of the tweet. And then, of course, the Australian Open World Nationals tonight. To pit lane, we've got some pit lane activity now. That was Christian McLaren. Also with him, Siobhan McKernan, Paul Rogers, Kane Ryder, Tom Donoghue, Vaughan Ryder still showing on pit lane as well. Shocker of a night for the riders. No doubt about that. There's Angus Milne in 5th spot at the moment. So you've got Eskandari and Rayhana, the 2 FDL boys, streaking clear. 3 seconds up on Stephen Bull and Sam Chapman, and then Angus Milne back there in 5th spot. Is Chapo fuel saving? That's what I want to know. Just how much is he saving on a green flag run compared to everybody else? And will it come back to help him, or will it hinder him when we get to minute number 60? And we're on lap 21. We're 32.5 minutes in, 27.5 to go, ladies and gentlemen. Again, maths not my strong point, but at least I can add to 60. 21. is the magic number at the moment, but our lap times have dropped off considerably under safety cars, so keep an eye on that. If we can get a good elongated green flag run here, we'll push our way towards, minute 15, 8 laps every 10 minutes, another 24, potentially as many as 45 laps here in this race. Oh, trouble! Trouble at the front! That was Jamie Davis again. He's got company. He's got one of the GSRC reps with him there as well. I can't quite get a reg on that. It's Stephen Bull. It is Stephen Bull. Can you believe that? The pole sitters night is done on the streets of Adelaide.
Let's have a look at that when we get a good chance. That was
The pole curse strikes again, Sinka.
Yep, it's that same corner, isn't it? Everyone's loving it. Bull's down. Here we go. We've got the replay of this. So we've got Jamie Davis. Jamie Davis has just kept it off the wall. And where's Bull come? Does he do the same thing?
Watch Davis on the rejoin. Oh, he's already crashing there.
Bull's done the same thing,
no.
but he's taken it straight into the wall. Oh, my goodness.
Jamie Davis was lucky that he was on the escape road.
Yeah,
otherwise
he
would have
was
just been
very
clean bowled.
lucky. Very lucky. Right place, right time. Look at that.
Oh.
Yeah, they're just missing that breaking point coming into that chicane, and they're just hitting that front part of that apex is just deadly as.
Unbelievable, and yet we stay green. So Stephen Bull, yes, on the tow road, but no signs of a safety car just yet.
Well, the top boys are just dropping like flies at the moment. So we've got Jackson Rehan leading them out with Seb Eskandari.
Yeah. I hope you have
there,
right.
Eskandari. And Sam Chapman has got himself in the third place now. So he's having a very good calculated drive. As we said before, very capable driver of saving fuel as well. So it's going to be interesting to see. Danny Davis is no doubt in there as well. He's pretty good at fuel saving too. So Danny Davis up 10 places. And Van Dermot first to the SRW boys, and hopefully he can keep his head screwed on and watch that entry to that corner. That's killed so many cars. Let's have a look. Yep. All right, so Davis has gone in, so he's called. Van Ermit's gone in, sorry. Ooh. So the top two still got to go in as well. We've got Rehan and Skandari as well.
And let's not forget, Chapo pitted under safety car. So he's actually got a little bit more in the tank than these guys. He pitted under the first safety car, back on lap 5. So he can go a little bit longer. I don't think he can go all the way, but he can certainly go a little bit longer than this pet. And should we get a third safety car, then good luck. And that could be the power play for Sam Chapman, if you like. Here's Danny Davison on board with him now. Good to see him up 10 spots in this race. Ryan Borg up 4, Greg Cook up 10, Nick Martin up 16, and Thomas Sinner from the back of the field from 36 is up 25 spots in 11th at the moment. You won't get any better than that. 19 for Toomey Schallenberg as well. They're the big movers and shakers so far. Stephen Bull still sitting on pit road at this point, and what a disappointing day it has been for him. Sinner's just lost 11th spot there to Alex Stevens. Eskandari continues on. Rayhana to pit lane. Leader is on pit road at the end of lap 24, ladies and gentlemen. The end of lap 24. 36 and a half minutes gone. Excuse me. Rayhana to pit road. Chapman goes through. We expected that. Milne also stopped on lap 5. He goes through. Danny Davison. He goes through too. Ryan Borg, Greg Cook will continue on. They stopped on lap 14. So you got varying different strategies playing out here, Sinker. You got the guys that stopped under the first safety car versus the guys that stopped under the second versus the guys that didn't bloody stop at all.
What though? Jackson Rehan in a great position. He's got himself in the 7th place. He's pitted on lap 24. He's got what? Just over 20 minutes left. He'll probably have enough to run all the way through to the end now if he's smart, and that will be a big position for him to get at the very end. Oh, another one around. Alex Tsizikas.
Yep. Tsizikas is gone.
Yep, he's in it.
What about one of our new members on the platform for the GSRC too? Yep. That's a terribly bad spot, especially if you get another one going in there.
Yep.
Okay, they're going to let him tow, and they're
Yep,
going to let the race continue on.
Iskandari's in the
Iskandari
pits
going
as
to pit
well.
lane right now. He probably did that, A, to cover off Rayhana, but B, thinking that there might be a safety car called here and now. He didn't get that one.
Let's see. Here we go. Thomasina's coming in now as well. Yep. Right, so some of these boys are going to be screaming for a safety car.
Absolutely, they would be. And how would you feel if you're Stephen Bull? All the other crashes that have ended up in that wall over there at turn 3, they've got a safety car. And poor old bullies, bad luck, you're out, done. Try again next year. Try again in April when the Turn 1 2026 Australian Open World Nationals takes front and centre stage here on the platform of FDL, SRW and the GSRC. That was Tzikis' incident. And how... Oh, wow.
Lucky for the car
What
park.
a lucky escape that was.
Yep. Just made it past. This tactics are going to be going fast and thick now. It's you know, Sam Chapman, if he's going to wait out for a safety car, is he going to come in soon? He's 5 laps in.
Yeah, that
That's
was Stephen Bull in the
that's a
comment
big
section
haul to
as well,
go.
boys. Right there, that's Stephen Bull in the comment section on our YouTube thread. That turn 1 to 3 is brutal. Knew I'd cop it eventually. It's amusing for us to watch this play out and watch the best in the business ply their trade. It's been a difficult week for these guys to get their head around the ins and outs of this new circuit. I don't envy them in the slightest, but then again, I'm surprised I'm not getting more hate mail because it was me that said a couple of weeks ago on the GSRC platform, Sinka, that I reckon there should be no votes, no wheel spins, no nothing. It should just be Adelaide.
Well, here's some hot news for you at the moment. Danny Davidson has got himself a 5-second time penalty for not leaving racing room. So there must have been some contact with one of the other drivers that he didn't leave room for. Schmellenberg's on the side.
Oh, he's got company! He's got company! Now, I get it when there's only one, but there's 2 now. There's 2 written off cars there. If that's not safety car number 3...
Safety car has been called.
I'm a monkey's uncle. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, there it is. There's the option. Chapman should go in. There he is. Chapman's in straight away. This is what he wanted. Edwards is in. Oh, this has opened up the race to these boys at the very front. Danny Davidson's in as well.
This has played out beautifully for these boys.
They're all going to file in.
Not Rayhana.
Well, Rayhana and Seb Iskandar, they maybe they can make it to the end, those two. But I think everyone else is going to need to come in. Yeah, they are. They're all filing through at the moment, following through. Jed Van Ermert went lap 23. Can he make it? Will he go in?
Milner's leapfrog Chapman on pit road as well, boys. Milner's got by Chapman on pit road. So that is a positional change on pit road, and it's rare that you see Chapo outdone on pit road, but he has been this time round.
Van Ermert's rolled the dice. He's at lap 23. He's rolling the dice there, and Jackson Rayhana it's a matter of, you know, is he going to be able to make it to the end now? The rest of these guys after that, they're in. No worries at all.
I think they can. I mean, they may have to fuel save a little bit, Sinker, but they got 2 safety cars first in, and this safety car now at the right time, absolutely.
Yep. I reckon they'll just get over the line with probably a litre or 2 spare.
Because
or
lap
maybe
24
a litre
was,
and a bit.
lap 24, 25, 23, that area, that was just after halfway.
Yeah, and they'll be saving a heap of fuel during this safety car as well. So it's going to be very interesting. This is going to be a tough race at the end. This is going to be a nice little sprint race now at the end, because we're going to have about just over 15 minutes of racing left. These boys still haven't learned about that curb. They're still hitting it. Oh, there you go. Ooh. Look at this. Oh, he's just completely misbraked the entry into that corner and killed his car.
Yeah.
That break point has killed a lot of cars, hasn't it? Just boys mistiming the entry into that chicane big time. About 28 minutes to a tank with a full save.
Yeah, with a fuel save. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's courtesy of Stephen Bull. And there wasn't 28 minutes left in the race when they pitted.
Yep. So Chappie's still in there with it, mate.
This is a game change.
Yeah. Yep.
Dan Yeaman's just saying in our earpiece that anyone pitted after lap 15 should be good. And that's why you haven't seen too much in the way of interest from anybody that pitted after that marker that time through. Lap cars are now being let go by the safety car. We've got Timmy Schmellenberg, Stephen Bull, Christian McLaren, Paul Rogers, Kane Ryder still sitting on pit road. Vaughan Ryder, Tom Donahue have been there for a while. We've got, in all of that, we're going to have several retirements to mention at the end of the race here. The attrition has been a huge talking point tonight. You know one thing we haven't mentioned until I'm about to say it now? Debris. Remember when that was the topical point of the night? Remember Magello?
The
Remember
debris.
it was all about debris? This
I
time
love
round, it's
debris.
about ripple strips and walls. It's great. Different Australian Open World Nationals, different talking points. Last time round, it was about puddles and water. It was great. So,
you know what?
I'm not sure what
Racing-
the theme will be next time through.
There's always got to be something, yeah, and that's what it is. It's about racing. That's what makes it real. This is why this simulation is one of the best simulations around town. You know, it's a lot of fun, and there's always some new impact or different impact that happens that changes the race. It's chaos on wheels. Love it.
Now, I must apologise. Our GSRC broadcast crew, it's the second broadcast on our platforms throughout the course of this Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening. Now we've just gone past 6 on the West Coast, 10 on the East Coast. Our thoughts are very much with everyone in Bondi at the moment. I'll come back to that a little bit later on. Once we've got a little bit more firm information to pass on to you, we will do that post-race here. We've got the safety car leading the field around again. We've got these guys weaving from side to side to try and keep the tyres warm. We've got an enormous finish coming our way. This is the second broadcast of the day for our GSRC crew, of course. Earlier tonight, the boys announced the slate for next term 1 2026. You can go and watch that broadcast on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to act as though I've got some sort of intel and intelligence and information and hindsight and whatever else to pass on to you. I don't, because I was out with the old boy enjoying a couple of drinks with his mates on a Sunday afternoon. So I'm flying blind on that. Like many of you, I'll be going back and having a look at that broadcast after this one wraps up. But yes, looking forward to Turn 1 2026 already. Safety car round one more time. I would hazard a guess here, Sinka, that this will be not only the last lap for the safety car in this stint, but also this race. I don't think they'd be too inclined, race control, to deploy it again. They wouldn't want to run the risk of finishing this thing under caution.
Well, you know, never know, mate. You never know. Safety cars breed safety cars sometimes, and it's going to be a race to the end, mate. Everyone's fully fueled. Everyone's ready to go. They're all warming up their tyres. We'll have less than 15 minutes of racing left, so this is going to be an epic sprint to the end. And some of these boys are not going to leave anything on the table. They're going to make sure it's all there on the track, done. Their opportunity to win an Australian Open World Nationals title. It's not something you can race every week. It's something that comes 4 times a year, and it's your one and only chance. You might not get back in there next season because you might not make it to all the races for your series that you race in. So it is a huge thing to do. It's a one bite at the cherry, leave it all on track, and that can breed a little bit extra chaos.
Indeed it can. We are, of course, running up against the Big Bash tonight, ladies and gentlemen. The state of play there after 9 overs. The Sydney Sixers are 4 for 88. Remember, it's an 11-over match because of the rain delaying the start of play. Safety car in this time by here on the streets of Adelaide as the Australian Open World Nationals heads towards its conclusion. There are 13 and a half epic minutes of racing ahead of us here, ladies and gentlemen. The FDL boys have dominated all night. They sit 1, 2, 3 at the moment. The best of the GSRC hopes is Chavo there in fourth. He's flying the flag solo now without Stephen Bull. Watching off on the sideline, of course, is Bully. And have a look at Ray Hunter. He's gone already. And Jed Van Hammett is there, has the best place. Oh, he hasn't gone yet. Oh, I'm getting edgy. I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh, no. Trouble in the middle of the field. So will that delay the restart?
We're still good to go. We're still good to go.
We're good to go. Oh, no. Have a look at that. We'll get a replay of that shortly. We're back
go.
We've
got him going. Jackson Rehan has put the pedal down, and he's got the pressure from Seth behind him. He's going for the draft. He's taking it nice and tight. They've both avoided those bloody curbs that's caused so much havoc tonight. He's pulled away and tucked in
Eskenazi.
left and right, giving him a bit of a look in the mirrors. He's locked it up a bit, opened up the door. He's racing it in. There's contact between the two. Not massive contact, but they're going for it. Mills got through. Scanners back to the front of the line, and Mills in second place, and Chapman's got himself into fifth place. Rehan's got a meatball. He's done for the race. That is over for Rehan.
Unbelievable drama for Jackson Rayhana. He's done. And Mechanical Meatball is on his way to pit lane. Here comes Chapman on the inside of Milne to turn 8. Chapman to second. Chapman down the inside of Eskandari looking for the lead at turn 9. Oh, the two-time Australian World National Champion is going to the lead at turn 10. But Eskandari back down the inside. Here comes Rayhana. He's out of it, but he's still in it for the moment. Bill's in behind. Davis in there as well. But Hammond's the best of the SRW mob at the moment. Rayhana's locked it up coming over the main straight. His dash is done. Can you believe what's unfolding on the streets of Adelaide?
It's still a lot to unfold because Chapman's still got himself in the second place. He's having an absolute pearl of a race tonight. We did predict it. There's a slowdown from Eskandari. He's got a slowdown. He's got to serve that off the race line. Chapman's going to get the opportunity now to have a look at him a bit closer, but he's not close enough to make a drama of it. There's cars dropping left, right, and centre. Still, you've got a few boys in the back end, but Jackson Rihanna is the
down the
biggest
inside,
loss top
Chapman
end.
to the lead. Chapo leads in Adelaide. Mills gone.
He's around. It's gone. It's open.
Then Hammond's gone as well.
It's taken out 2 or 3 cars behind that camera. Chapman just got away from that, and now he's got Milne got in front of him again. So we've got now second and third is the GSR boys.
And have a look at that. Eskandari's got a mechanical meatball. Van Hammett's got a mechanical meatball. What the hell?
We did say it comes and goes very quickly at the pointy, and it's hard to win this because the pressure is on. Everything is laid on the line, and off it goes. Chapman was my prediction for the race earlier on, and he's done a sensational job there.
Milne's gone to the lead. Milne's taken him. Milne has gone to the lead for everything simulated. He has gone to the lead for FTL. Jono Harris has got himself up in a third place.
He's got to slow down. Harris has got to slow down.
The top 5.
Harris got to slow down. That's going to open up the door to Danny Davidson on the back of him. Danny Davidson's going to creep up on the back of him now, and he's having a bit of a look.
Oh, boy.
Looks like Milne's got this in control now. He's got himself 4 tenths ahead of Sammy Chapman. And then we've got Jonathan Harris. He's got 1.35, so we've got a bit of a gap there to third place. Third place is hot to trot at the moment. Danny Davis wants that last position. He's going to hold out real tight. We've got Ryan Borgden, a young boy, Greg Crook, young fella in the team from Project 36. He's got himself up to 6th place. He is our Pro-Am winner this season as well, so absolute perler from the young fella.
Can we mention that Cook is an SRW Pro-Am in 6th? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Unbelievable. How good is this? So Greg Cook sitting in 5th spot at the moment, plus 12, plus 10 for Brendan Grosh. You'll never, I tell you what, Chapo's a 2-time AOWN champion. If he gets to 3, he'll have, half the complement. He'll have 50% of those that have been run. And you'll never hear the bloody end of it from him because it's on home turf for him. He lives in Adelaide. Trouble at the back!
They're going round again!
Brendan Grosh!
Grosh has bit the wall.
Holy cow. Jeff Adams has got to slow it down.
Davis is coming for sympathy.
How many times have you seen that tonight?
Same spot too, Davis. Oh my God!
Nothing
as he
if not
gets passed by, a couple of SRW drivers as he comes around that corner. But I tell you what, all the red spots that you can see on that leaderboard, peeps, they're at the bottom end. Unfortunately, they're all SRW drivers, and they're only being waved the flag by Cookie. He's got himself in the 4th place now. Great little drive from the young fella. He's got the pressure of Harris behind him. 2 tenths at the moment, trying to win that back, but they're only about a second off the pace off Danny Davidson, and the pressure is on. The minor spots are still up for grabs from Chapman downwards.
So you got FDL first, FDL third, Greg Cook, Jono Harris to pit lane. Now, what is that for, more to the point? Is that a fuel issue? Please not.
Is he gone through?
Yeah, actually, Nathan Michael's right. Some of these cats have exceeded 9 lives. Absolutely, they have. Hilly, Edwards, Borg, 5th, 6th, and 7th at the moment. Cook has got up into 4th. Oh, no, trouble. There goes Craig Edwards. Another one bites the dust. Rayhana's got back out there in 16th, by the way, down 14, make it 15.
As well.
1 minute 12.168. He's still got the fastest lap of the race. Borg's got a mechanical meatball. It's all happening here in South Australia. Angus Milne, Sam Chapman, Danny Davison, Greg Cook and Mark Hilly at the top 5. You've got FDL 1, 3 and 5, GSRC 2 and SRW 4 at this point in time. So the FDL mob here, Sinka, are looking good for 2 on the trot. They've come out tonight and completely and utterly slapped us both.
Very good. I'll tell you what, that there's no room to breathe at the moment. The way these boys are battling it through. Look at them coming in there. Ryan Borg still having a go there, even though he's still got his meatball there. He's driving a cracker out there. What a way to go out there. I tell you what, I'm very impressed with a young fella, good old Greg Cookie there from Project 36. What a stellar drive for the young lad. Didn't expect him to go out the pointy end. This is the restart. Oh, my God. What's happened there? Ridley has gone into Cena. Oh, my God. I'm not... Oh, that looks like it. Was that Martin driving through them then? Oh, it happened last week in the 86s on Thursday night from Martin. He drove through a couple of boys where the screen on his car just went. I think he was then. All right.
Chapman's just lost second to Danny Davison. Davison on the inside goes by Chapman. Here on the inside.
Look on the inside.
Have a look at this.
Break move. Is he going to take the second cut? No, he's just letting them know he's there. Oh, he hasn't given it up just yet.
No.
Go, young fella. You can do this.
This is just awesome stuff. Jeff Adams has just lost position number 8 to Sam Maud, who's gone through as well. Don't give Cook the commentator's curse there, Sinka.
I've got to shut up, apparently.
That's a good point. You've got 2 in the top 6 at the moment. Don't jinx it.
Oh,
the GSRC have only got 2 in the top 10.
I won't,
FDL
mate.
got 6.
Look at the gap that Angus Milne has just done now. He's absolutely tearing it up there. He's got himself 2.23 seconds off Danny Davidson. Now it's just minor positions at the moment. If he can keep himself clean and stay up those curbs, it's going to be all down to Davidson and Chapman and Greg Cook to fight for those final few spots. Yep. Marky Hill's there, 4/10 of the way from the Orbit Drop Bear Motorsports. You got a big gap of 4 seconds there to Nicholas Martin from the Get a Grip boys. Look at this
FDL. Just have a look at these 2 boys. 23 rulings in the booth at the moment. So there's 23 incidents that race control are having a look at by the looks of that. Down the inside, that's very nicely done. Chapman back to second on Denny Davison. Clinical from Chapman. Now, is this the time in which he can push? Angus Milne is up the road, 2.46 seconds. It looks like he's got this one. As Angus Milne, they're going to come back to the line, boys. They're going to have 4 laps to go. Should we go green all the way? 4 laps to go on the streets of Adelaide.
Look at the leader out there. The leader is taking a nice rip out of that. Look at that. No draft, nothing. He's still pulling out killer laps there. 1:13.197. The team behind him with 1:13.037s. A little bit faster with the toes. Oh, we've got one go round. Well, that's one of the lap boys. Just had a code brown and went all the way around. But this final few corners coming through, we've got 3 and a bit minutes left to go, viewers. And this has been a spectacular run for the 6th MOZA Racing Australian Open Wheel Nationals. The racing out here is never short of action. And have a look at Greg Cook trying to break the toe there. Mark Hill's trying to have a look on him. He's got him on the left. Under brakes. He's going to take him under brakes. I'm sure Cookie's going to keep the fight in, but he's going to make it safe. He's not going to take the risk. As he comes out under brakes and gets a little bit of the nose ahead. What's the next corner going to bring him? Oh, a bit of room, both left, a beautiful bit of room. Nice gentleman racing. Look at the inside line of Cook go. Oh, the cojones on the young fella. What a way to get that spot back.
That is madness. Insane stuff, but you expect it at this end of the night. Get rid of the outside, not going to get it done there at the final corner. Back onto the main straight we go, side by side. Down the main straight towards the centre chicane.
Bit of work there. He's just got that back. He missed that break point. He saw a bit of puff of smoke come off the rear end. This is the tightest battle we've got at the moment. There's only 2 tenths between these boys. They're fighting for 4th place at the moment.
So, Milne's lead has been shaved. It's now 1.6 seconds as well. Is there anything left in Sam Chapman's tank? He's just punched out at 1 minute 12.558 last time through. What can Chapman find in the final 2.5 laps to go on the streets of Adelaide? We're on lap 39. We will get to 41 tonight. That will be the bingo number. Davison is third, holding on, trying to get by Chapman. Cook, Hilly, fighting for the lower minor positions in the top 5. We haven't got time to go back and analyse everything else, but the casualty ward will need some assessment after the fact. There are so many tales of the walking wounded there. There always seem to be, and yet again, it seemed as though tonight was going to be the night where he got the monkey off the back. But again, Australian Open World National supremacy eludes Jackson Rayhana. Down the main straight we go. 2 to go on Adelaide.
We go to Adelaide, but tell you what, Sam Chapman's just done his fastest lap in the last lap, so he's not holding back a 1:12.558, lapping about 5 tenths faster than Angus Milne in that last lap, but he's left it a bit too late. I think he's not going to be able to take up that 1.4 unless Angus does something really silly over those curbs. Danny Davis looks like he might have this in the bag as well. Greggy Cook is going to run out of time as they come through, but the chase from Mark Hill is still on. Yeah, caution in turn 3. It looks like Jackson Rayhana.
He's done. Absolutely done. One of the form favourites coming into the night will not see the checkered flag.
He's had a lot of bad luck in this series, unfortunately. And being that it's one race and one race only, it's a hard one. Oh, look at it. Oh, he's just attacked that curb a bit too hard again.
His only mistake of the night there at that curb. The other mistake, of course, was up the road.
Yep.
Uh-oh, trouble, Hilly.
Oh, no.
Wait for it.
Here
on
we
the
go.
outside. Oh, no.
Oh, Hilly's just over-rotated. He's just kept it off the wall. Is he going to... Oh, no, he's hit the wall trying to get the car around.
Now, Dan Yeaman might be able to get me a shot of the start-finish straight here because we've just seen, hopefully, allegedly, the white flag. Do we have... Yes!
Yeah, there it is. It's waving.
Barney's arrived in Adelaide before he got to the bend. Barney got to Adelaide before he got to the bend.
I thought he was too busy doing the BP commercial.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I thought. No, that's Bert, not Barney. Angus Milne, Sam Chapman, Danny Davison, Greg Cook and Nick Martin are going to bring us home. And Angus Milne, despite the late pressure being applied by Sam Chapman, is half a lap away from supremacy for FTL on the streets of Adelaide. And Chapo will notch up yet another podium in this signature event on our calendar. The 4th and final running of the Australian Open World Nationals for 2025, the 6th in total. And FTL have been a welcomed addition to this platform, to this event, and tonight they've absolutely swept the floor clean. Last turn, checkered flag, and everything simulated racing's Angus Milne.
Cook and Davis are in the wall.
Oh, no.
2nd and 3rd have gone.
Can you believe that? Angus Milne gets the job done on the streets of Adelaide. Look at Danny Davison's thing absolutely written off.
Cook's going to make it through. He's got a meatball. Is it going to count with the meatball crossing? He's done it. Cook's got himself, unless he gets a penalty, Cook's got himself across into 2nd place. There was contact between him and Milne coming through the back corners. They're only 2 tenths apart. But ladies and gents, what an epic finish to another MOZA Racing Australian Open World National. Milne, Chapman, Cook and Martin.
Fight for the minor placings is on there on the run of the flag. Adam Lavis has run out of puff on that run to the line. He's coughed and spluttered over the line. And that's not unlike Adam Lavis to run it that tight on fuel. Max Boost asking the obvious question that we'd like to see a replay of in a moment, and I know we will. Wowee. Angus Milne, Sam Chapman, Greg Cook. So one from each of the 3 clubs on the podium there. SRW get 2 in the top 5, as do FTL. GSRC, get 2 in the 10, and there are 6 FTL representatives in the top 10 tonight. Let's have a look at this. The tight squeeze, it wasn't on. It wasn't on. Davison's car's been written off. Cook sliding his way through. Will go across the line. Now, let me stress this, boys, right? We've just called that across the start-finish line. That's fine. but I'm going to stress the words provisional. Mainly because of that incident, more so than anything else. But yes, race control will be sick. I think race control might be here through the week. They might have to just take some leave from work. They might be here until next weekend. Christ, they might even spend Christmas.
Cost me an absolute fortune.
Absolutely, they will. Merry Christmas, boys.
Yeah.
We'll send some eggnog your way. It'll be great.
Yeah, we will. So I think the word provisional is key at the moment.
Yeah. Wow, wait.
Hang on a second.
We didn't really get a chance to analyse all of that simply.
Okay.
But
15-second time penalty.
Yep.
To Greg Cook.
Okay. So that's going to drop him all the way down to.
But
11th.
that gets Nicholas Martin
Yeah.
into the top spot. So that brings Nicholas Martin into third place, which is
also,
something we really didn't expect.
Yeah, and it also launches Trav Azzopardi up into the top 10. Trav's up in 10th. So three GSRC boys in the 10. Good on you, Trav. Eskandari will come home in 12th position. No. Eskandari will go 11th and Cook will go 12th. And have a look at that. It's a 1/10 margin between those two when Cook's 15-second penalty is applied. Jason Depp, Nathan Verney, Jamie Davis, Kyle Ridley, Thomas Sinner, Ryan Borg. Then you go back to Adam Lavis and Sam Mort. It really ballooned out there in the end. 1.1 the winning margin. Angus Milne ahead of Sam Chapman. Greg Cook in for third provisionally drops down to 12th. Nick Martin jumps up into third as a result of that. But still, Sinker, at least you've got one on the podium.
Okay, so just a bit of clarifying in the back now. People are asking why the decision. He actually left the field to do the pass, and hence that way it's been ruled that it wasn't a safe pass. So he had wheels off the track. There was parts there where the wheels were on and wheels were off because there's a little exit there. But the stewards from both teams have looked at it, and it's going to be stick with the 15-second penalty. So unfortunately for Greg Cook, still doesn't diminish his efforts out there. That was a fantastic race that he had. He probably gets himself into, I think it was still make fifth or fourth. I'm not sure, but that's pretty much where it finishes up. So what a race, mate.
We've got a couple of different things to get through here, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, the aerial shot of that incident, and there's the moment. You can see what Sinker was talking about there, where road and car were overlapping. There was the yellow lines are clear, play within those limits. Unfortunately, the Greg Cook car had a little bit of wheel on the other side of the line, /grass, /ripple strip, /out of road. That's how they've deemed him to be at fault for that incident. Going hard, going fast, last-ditch gasp efforts, etc. I get it. But at the same time, our race control crew have to adjudicate on those incidents accordingly. They see it fit to apply a 15-second penalty, and that's what they've done. Trav Azzopardi in the Discord chat now just saying, I am sweating. I think everybody is. That was a hectic hour to try and rip our way through. Well done to Angus Milne from lucky 13th on the grid, up 12 spots. Congratulations. Sam Chapman up 9. And Nick Martin up 21 spots. So all three tonight have come from well in the field, outside the top 10. That might be an Australian Open World Nationals first. We did say it at the top, didn't we, Sinker? That if you've got to be in it to win it, and you can ride a little bit of luck around here. Good strategy, good fortune, and of course avoiding incidents were key to success tonight. All those guys have managed. So, righto. Dan Yeoman just confirming that none of the top 5 in the end started in the top 10. Well, actually, the only exception to that will be Mark Hilly now, because he will jump up into 5th spot from what was 7th. But yes, none of the top 4 started in the top 10, and that might be a first for the Australian Open World Nationals. Let's have a look at all of this. Milne, we got 41 laps in the end. Mark Hilly was 5th, Scott Barchin 6th, Jenny Davis and Jeff Adams, Alex Stevens, Travis Azzopardi rounded out the top 10. Below that, I think the story really, Sinker, lies deep within the realms of those that didn't make it home tonight for what reason or another. I mean, a rate of attrition the likes of which we haven't seen in an Australian Open World Nationals, more carnage than we've ever seen before, and a couple of incidents in which I'm really happy it was a virtual world event, not a real one. But if you have a look at that, Tom Donahue, Ryan Cox both at the prominent pointy end early in the piece. Done. Stephen Bull, that was most notable. He ended up classified 32nd. Don't think he gets classified. He didn't make it to 75%, which tonight will be 31 laps. So everybody that made it down to Jed Van Hemert is the last of the classified finishes in all of that. So 10 retirements. Jackson Rayhana gets classified 23rd. Doug Gowan's 24th. John O'Harris, I mean, I'm not sure what happened there for him at the end of lap 36, what happened and triggered him to pit in at that point. Brendan Grosh met the turn 3 wall twice. Van Hemert's incident has been documented. McLaren got caught up in multiple incidents. Schmallenberg started in pit lane. There is just a sea, an avalanche, a mountain of stories to try and pick apart and all that, Sinker. I don't think we've got enough time left in the night in order to be able to do so.
No, nor shall we try, because it's I'd like to remember the race for the amazing racing that these boys did. There's people out there asking, how do you join this race? Well, you register for the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, and you race in their open wheels. You register for FDL and race in their open wheels, and you race for SRW in their open wheels, and you have to be in the top 13 of each of your classes, and that gets you into this competition. It's once after every season, 4 times a year, and it is a spectacle that I don't think is going to die a slow death, that's for sure, because that was heart-pumping, amazing racing, mate. That was unreal.
Mate, I like the heart rate. It's going to take a while for it to come back down to a level in which I can put myself to sleep tonight to rest comfortably. Yeah, it is going to take a while.
Watch Gary Poppins or something like that, mate, just to get the leg down.
Actually, to be honest, I think we're all going to be awake watching the news for the next few hours, given the events that we've learned of out of Bondi this afternoon. We'll come back to that shortly. Going around the grounds for you as well, ladies and gentlemen. We were mentioning the match in Perth. The Sixers against the Scorchers to get the Big Bash underway. The Sixers have ended their 11 over innings at 5 for 113, a run rate of 10.27 and over. The Scorchers will need 114 for victory there. The run chase to start very shortly. Well done to FDL. They've cleaned up. They've dominated. They won the club battle. They won the outright stakes as far as the individual honours were concerned as well. Magnificent effort from them, 2 from 2. But great to see one of your boys on the podium as well. Sinker, we'll start the post-race show with you. And, of course, Nick Martin from 24th on the grid, if you don't mind. A very nice effort from him. Unfortunately, you don't want to inherit a podium position that way, but he'll take it anyway.
Mate, you've got to be in that position to take it, don't you?
Actually, that might be my favourite livery of the night, just quietly.
Thanks, mate. I made it myself. So.
Sinker, I'm going to let you do the interview on us here, mate, while I catch my breath.
Well, Mr. Martin, I don't think I counted you into this podium position early. I discounted you and didn't think you'd be up there in the top 5, even though you've had a pretty good season this year. But give us your perspective, mate. How was it out there? I know that the track was a bit of a killer and it killed a lot of cars, but what was your train of thought and how are you going to get to the pointy end and how did you get there?
The goal was to be consistent and clean the whole race, and I managed to do that except for one little moment where I locked the rears down into turn 9 and basically did a full 360 and had to let the whole field go past. So while it was 24,
that was live, mate. We saw that live.
I think I was down in 30th at one point, so came back through twice, and then it was get a one stop, because on the fuel with the amount of safety cars we were going to have, strategy-wise, you had to be able to do a one stop. So just run it long and then pit as deep as you could, and then come out and not have to pit again.
So when you came in here tonight, what was your ambition? Where were you thinking you were going to finish?
First?
That's a true racer. That is a true racer. I'm glad to hear that train of thought, because a lot of these boys, when you look at the pace out there, Jackson around, it's like, mate, some of these really, really fast guys have had a lot of bad luck, and you've got yourself clean and unscathed through that chicane entrance. Was killing a lot of cars. Is that one thing that straight away that you before the race started that you were aware of? Is it something you became aware of as the race went on?
Yeah, I was well aware of it. You had to, in practice I was going, if I get the chicane wrong, how do I straighten the car up to ride over it and just get a slow down or just lose a bit of time rather than end up in the fence. So yeah, you have to be well aware of that early on and try and figure out a way to survive.
Well, mate, you've done a cracking job out there, and it's good to see. We got at least one. How many did we get? We got
2 in the 10.
Two in the 10, and one on the podium, mate. So not a bad effort there. Cookie had a great job, great drive out there as well tonight. So hats off to him, mate. As an SRW driver, well done, congratulations. Who gets you on track, mate, and supports the Get a Grip team?
Yeah, so obviously the team at Get a Grip, especially my dad, Andrew Martin, for racing alongside me tonight. It's great to have him racing. He's actually sits alongside me. So then we got the guys at Jesus Racing, the Life Choices Foundation, Velo Racing Products, and the Your Name Here campaign. If you want to see your name on our cars, hit us up on Facebook and we'll sort something out.
There you go, mate. Absolute legend, mate, and a great representative of SRW, mate. Congratulations.
Alrighty, thank you.
Stay with us, Nick, because Sinka knows how I operate. I feel as though that was a very relatively short yarn, short, sharp, and sweet yarn for your for our liking. But I've got one question for you. Obviously, the Adelaide Street Circuit, that'll be spoken about in ad nauseum type levels at length for the next 6 weeks until we rock and roll around again in term 1 of 2026. I know the GSRC boys are on a break now as far as our competition is concerned. What lies ahead for you for the summer series, mate, before regular competition kicks off again in the new year?
Well, Monza combined. If you guys want to jump over to SRW, we want to run Monza combined. Some of us have been trying to do it. So anybody that's keen to do that, we'll run it in these cars at some point in the off season. And then it's just practicing, getting ready for the main season, and coming back stronger and try and get the pro title in SRW next year.
How good to have another Australian circuit on the server as well. I don't think we've highlighted that point enough. And props to you as well, Nick, because that's normally Sinka's job, but you've just started an SRW recruitment drive partway through a post-race show. I'm very impressed.
Well, I'm on the admin team for next year, so I better be doing that.
No, I like it. Well done. Never missed an opportunity. Stay with us, mate. We'll get some more comments here if time permits. Let me bring in the experienced hand, the man that's got more podiums than anybody, I think, in Australian Open World National history, and it was nearly a win on home turf, Chapo. I'm quite relieved that it was, and as much as I would have loved to have seen you win it, I know that we wouldn't have heard the end of it had you won, as the GSRC boy, as the hometown boy. Thoughts on how hectic that hour was, please?
Jog on, would have liked the win. It was a hectic hour. It always was going to be around here. I actually did some IRL intel last night, drove the Jazz around what parts of the circuit I could, had a bit of a look at the tarmac, see if I could get a feel for it. Probably didn't have huge pace to start with the car, but it came to me as we went along, and it was, from my perspective, I knew there was going to be safety cars. I knew that survival and getting the strategy right was going to be key, and then show your pace in the final sort of 5-10 laps and see where we go. And then that's what we did. And, there's a few moves there that you cringe at towards the end where you go, if I'd blocked the inside, if I'd dived up the inside instead of the outside, we could have taken it because the pace at the end there was really good. But P2 from where we were on the grid, I'll take that every day of the week. And amazing job to Angus. It was a pretty hectic one. We were actually pretty glued together most of the race because he did the same pit strat I did of pitting in that first one, I think, and which I reckon was the right decision, given it gave us that clear air later on in the run. So good job to him. It was crazy out there. There was certainly a brown pants moment or two as you saw cars flying up ahead of you, but it was just being prepared for that and being ready to lift off the throttle rather than go straight through.
Indeed.
Before Zach goes off and takes you off for another half hour, I'd just like to say that I picked you for the podium before Zach did.
Correct. He did. Yeah, he did. Absolutely did.
Yep. You just have this knack in this series to just keep it cool and keep it clean and be there at the right place. As soon as that second or third safety car it was, I thought, third one, I said, that's it. I said, Chapo's got to get this. He's going to be at the top end, mate. you just had this bloody knack, and it was just perfect timing for you, mate. So hats off to you, mate. Cracking race out there.
Thanks, mate, and thank you for picking me ahead of my commentary colleague. That's very kind of you. Yeah, like that's I like these races because everyone's hot and bothered, and there's a lot of strategy to them over an hour, particularly with the aspect of safety cars and that sort of thing, and that suits my style and the way that I like to race. So. I'm glad I could be up there at the end, and it is a case with these of you've got a whole bunch of people that often haven't raced together, and particularly in a concrete canyon like this, you're going to have a few accidents. So managing your race till then and getting that strat right is going to be key. I'm pretty happy. I wasn't sure whether I'd be able to do it this time around, but just knowing the way that this circuit was going to throw up some curveballs here and there. I knew it was always a chance, and I think it's what I had. I reckon I was the only one that changed tyres towards the end as well. I think that probably helped the pace there, and probably just struggled a little bit in the early part of that stint, but then towards the end of the stint just had really good pace to Point Angus, but just not enough time.
Do you think that this sort of structure of race, it leans towards probably the most realistic form of sim racing and iRacing, because it's just so much on the line. It's not like a league race where you can come back next week and you can do better. It's not a heat race, you can do better the next race. Everything's on the line, like the accidents, the incidents. You've just got to drive that little bit real world and smarter.
Keep your head of the game. I took a fair bit of margin, other than the times I got to slow down unnecessarily at turn one, but largely was taking a fair bit of margin there. I mean, in that final stint, for a good chunk of it, I had a bit of the shakes going that would come on the main straights as I was trying to do it, and I was going, come on, this is not particularly good for finesse. Fortunately, they left the building towards the end of the 5 laps, but by that point I was about 2.7 off the lead. So it is. I mean, it's a different form. You've got to manage ahead, and you got to take the risks and chances where they arise, but not go overboard with it. And it's a different sort of race. I love this form of race. I'd love to see a bit more of it, and I do actually like in gents we don't have safety cars pretty much ever, and I think they personally add a lot to the race in being able to bunch them up and change up the strategy and require people to think on the run rather than having this sort of preset, this is how the race is going to flow, particularly with the lack of compulsory stops, which I also are a fan of, even if I did take 2 while the others took 1 tonight.
No, I love your analysis, mate. Great work. You can see you being up there with Zach commentating, mate. Congratulations, mate, on another podium. As Zach said, the most decorated Australian Open World racer.
Thanks, Steve. I was hoping for 3, but I'll take most decorated every day of the week as well.
Chubbo, don't be too greedy. I mean, let's be perfectly honest. You got a 3rd podium, and that's nothing to turn your nose up at. I mean, in all of this, mate. Firstly, how good to see Adelaide come to life in the virtual world. We knew it was going to be a challenge. We knew it was going to be chaotic. You survived all of that. And then more to the point, to be able to go from outside the top 10, find your way into the top 10. Obviously, qualifying would have been nice had it gone better for you, but that didn't necessarily end up needing to be a requirement tonight. All 3 of you come from outside the top 10 to land on the podium, but to be there when it matters on a night where it looked like Eskandari and Rayhana were going to run away with it. They trip up in the first lap after restart number 3, and then the seas part for you guys to come through and clean it up. To stay clean on a night like this, to stay out of trouble, to weave your way through and tick the boxes required to get another podium, and to do so in an always constantly changing and evolving environment and field where we always, have, in this case, a 3rd club lining up for the 2nd time. We have different faces at the top end of town. We have a new track. We have new updates from iRacing. Everything's thrown at us, and you guys have had 4 days to learn this track. Mate, full credit to you. That's magnificent stuff. We knew that the GSRC boys were the underdogs tonight, so for you to be able to fly the flag and get us on the podium in one way, shape, or form, mate, that's a phenomenal effort.
Thanks, mate. It was a bit of deja vu seeing the two jets out front come together once again. I sort of went, that was it's almost predictable at this point that, the top two, the really quick guys will get a little bit fighty. And that just final stanza when the heat's really on, that's when, a few, mistakes and that sort of thing come out. So, I'm pretty stoked to be, it's a very tough field now, particularly obviously those FDL guys, there's a lot of lightning guys in there, and a lot of our GSRC guys that, we haven't been running the SFL for now a couple of seasons. So, they're not particularly attuned to it. Clearly, this car sort of, it doesn't work for me necessarily at that peak pace, qualifying pace level, but it does seem to work for me over a race distance. So, pretty happy to almost get there on home turf. I was very hopeful to get there on home turf. It's it's so close to home that I was looking the other day and I found my girlfriend's apartment building modelled in the background. So it's nice to see, and it's a great circuit. It's tough. It's not the sort of circuit that I usually do particularly well at with the sort of turns it is, but pretty happy to take second tonight. And once again, congrats to Angus. It was a mega race. No, we left nothing on the line and we gave it an all, and came out on top.
Indeed, you did, mate. I know it's a very busy start to 2026 for you with your real world commitments creeping in and coming up thick and fast. But what does the rest of 25 look like for you, please?
Oh, good question. Not sure. We'll just try and get through it. Try and get through to Christmas. I think everything's starting to quiet down for me now. The weekend should be a little bit clearer. So, we'll see what's hanging around in the official platform. See if I can work out what's going on there. I tried the Porsche Cup last night and in Mexico. That I didn't hate it. It actually drove quite nicely, as much as I don't quite like seeing the lack of TC and the TC and ABS on it. It's it was a decent car to drive, so maybe we'll play around with that, but it will depend. Probably do a bit of oval as well, but generally we'll try and hit a little bit more out in the real world.
Indeed. Would you recommend FDL and SRW and GSRC continue to bring Super Formula Light to the streets of Adelaide, or are we done with that now?
Oh, of course. It's a great track. I think they should bring it out to the streets of Adelaide. I'm not sure in another, I think for an Open Wheel Nationals, you always need a new track. There's plenty of tracks on the service, so we might have to come up with something new next time. But they should definitely do the circuit. It's a great Australian circuit, and I'm stoked to have it on there, and be able to do some live analysis of it and check out where all the bumps and all that sort of thing are. So it suits me.
Very nicely done. I think it's interesting, isn't it? Everyone was moaning about various little different nuances here this week. I was just impressed that Barney actually got to Adelaide quicker than he got to the Bend, but at least we didn't have any of the water and all the puddles that we had to contend with at Mount Panorama in the last run of the Australian Open World Nationals. Follow us over to Adelaide, mate. I think that would have amplified the difficulty level, which was already at extreme, tenfold.
I don't know how many cars would have made it home if there was water out there, Zach. It could have been single digits. These things are fun in the wet, but they're very twitchy. And I can imagine some of these fast corners, and I don't know how they model paint lines and all that sort of thing with it as well. Would become pretty tricky. So I'm probably thankful there's no rain. A safety car would have been on to lead most laps.
I hate to say it, but I think the defining moment, and I called it when it happened, was the second round of pit stops, mate. You came in, as Sinka said, timed it beautifully, got your wish with a safety car being deployed right on pit window for you. You came in, but you got leapfrogged in the pits. What happened?
I changed tyres.
That's all it was. Yeah, righto.
Yeah, so I changed tyres, and I was like, oh, okay, I got leaped. And then I was looking at the stop times. I was like, okay, none of these other guys have changed tyres, which... that was obviously a positive. I was going, okay, well, that's a good thing. Once again, actually similar to Silverstone, it was almost a mirror. I changed tyres and Dougie Gowans behind didn't, and you could see that with the pace towards the end there. Angus held his own, and I got stuck in a bit of garbage. But once I was let free, the pace was really good. And I think that was a lot of the fresh tyres. But yeah, there just wasn't, quite enough time in it. A couple more laps maybe. I think it was 7/10 by the final lap. But that was why I got jumped in the pit stops. And, I was obviously hopeful that it wouldn't happen. It would have been great to be on the back of those other two guys. But, also then I might have got caught in their garbage. So, win some, lose some.
Indeed. Now, the other point as well, with regards to all of that, we saw you closing the gap in the closing stages, mate. Had it been a couple of laps longer, would you have been able to make it happen or not?
Yeah, I think so. I was closing on, 4 or 5 tenths a lap, I think, by the end. And, I don't know whether Angus was sort of just trying to take it easy and bring it home, but the pace towards the end was really good, and I was pulling out on guys behind and pulling on him. I think, going into that final, into the hairpin for the final time, there was 7 tenths in it. So, provided I could stay on his tail, I'll probably be in the slipstream for, the next lap afterwards, I reckon, going into the hairpin. I was at least on the new tyres really quick through the back half of sector 1 and was able to get on the back of guys. So and that was obviously really important to be able to make a move, but you did very much need to stick it up the inside. And the one time I did get a shot at him, I put it on the outside like an idiot. And another time when he actually got past, I blocked the inside, but just not enough. So had to give him that room and let him through. So there were probably a couple of very, very small errors there in from a racecraft perspective, but I think the pace was there to take him. He might have been able to block that inside entirely, but then whether you can do a cross back or on the outside potentially, I reckon could have been on.
And of course, let's also highlight that you survived one hell of an onslaught there to get yourself up into second in the first place, because they were trying to pounce on you from all angles. Obviously, the incident on the final lap took a couple of contenders out of business, but to survive that onslaught, that was unfortunately the defining moment, because that was where Angus was able to break clear. So it is what it is, mate, but well done. A second in the Australian Open World Nationals for the summer of 2025-6, or 13-14 for our Queensland audience anyway. But congratulations to you, mate. Anyone you want to thank before I let you go?
Oh, well, obviously thanks to all the GSRC and all the other clubs for putting it on. I really love this event. It's great fun. There's not really anything else like it, where you've got these one race sort of situations, and you can put it all out on the table, and go up against a whole bunch of different clubs and see where you can get to. I think these events are a lot of fun. So, thanks to all the guys. I know, Josh Zuno puts a lot of effort into getting it set up. So do you, Sinka, and a whole bunch of other guys do as well. As well, obviously, the team, I wasn't out there with them tonight, but, them and our sponsors, so Vermilion Esports, Fury Esports, when you're talking supercars as well, but not with this, Burb Designs, thecartshop.com.au, Supernova Motorsports, Hymo Setups, Lewis Great Head online coaching, so get your online coaching there, and Vermilion X coaching as well.
Very well done, mate. Great to catch up with you. Well done on another ripping season and another great effort tonight. So we'll wait and see what Australian Open World Nationals number 7 brings in April. But in the meantime, go and have yourself a good Christmas, mate. Enjoy the time off, enjoy the break, and all the very best with lots of very busy first quarter of the next year for you.
Thanks, mate. You too.
Congratulations, Chapo.
From Chapo to our race winner, Angus Milne's in the house for Everything Simulated Racing. Congratulations. A new name to the platforms of the AOWN broadcast. We've spoken about Everything Simulated Racing before, but to see Angus Milne up there, ladies and gentlemen, a new name on the honour roll. Congratulations to you, mate. Timing, strategy, impeccable. Everything played out beautifully for you tonight, and it was a solid drive as well. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. I think I didn't have the pace, some of those rocket ship guys up the front, but as Sam said, we were pretty glued together for the whole race. I was obviously followed him into the pits pretty much both times, and we were together near each other in qualifying as well. But yeah, Sam and I were the only drivers who finished with 0 incident points, which was my goal I set for myself coming into the race. which, and of course, winning the race is obviously a pretty big bonus on that.
Sinka, I'm sure you got a couple of questions for our race winner here, because he executed a faultless strategy tonight. He and Chapo called it beautifully, but he just had the better run of the mill at the end.
This was a spectacular run there. Following Chapo is always a smart thing to do in this race. I'm gonna put it in the race notes for round 7, annual 7, to anyone that's out there. If you're going to behind Chapo, follow him through for the rest of the day. But mate, where was your head at when the two front guys just in front of you disintegrated? How close were you to that action? How much avoidance was there? And was it like, oh my God, this is actually happening, I'm at the pointy end?
Well, it sort of went from qualifying 13th and hoping to get into the top 10 to all of a sudden being up near the podium. And then when those front two came together, Sam was ahead of me, so I was like, okay, I'm just going to do what I can here. But then there was a bit more of a coming together, and I got my gap and was able to get clear. And it was definitely some of the most stressful last sort of 10-odd laps I've driven before. But it was just focusing on hitting my marks and not sticking it in the wall pretty much.
How were your tyres feeling? Chapo took fresh tyres. You did. How was your rear end coping with the corner exits and coming through that chicane?
The rear end was actually okay. It was more turn 4. I was losing all my time because I felt pretty at risk of locking my fronts. So I was taking it really easy into there in those last few laps. But not taking tyres definitely helped me jump Sam in the pit stops to start with, which I think set me up well. But if he didn't get caught up with those cars behind, I reckon his tyre advantage would have got me there at the end. But yeah, it was really close.
What about the main toe down the main straight?
It wasn't as strong as I've seen it in some tracks in this car. But it was definitely a help in what helped me when Sam got sort of caught up in the corner before, and it meant I got a run on him, and the toe sort of slingshot me through. And then I was able just to stay out of trouble pretty much.
Was it defensive mode after that? Once you got past him, being aware of the fact of the toe, I mean, it wasn't huge, but it's still enough to get the pass. You just had to keep that gap of, a couple of tenths so that he couldn't get that overlap.
Yeah, I think initially when I first got him, his tyre advantage hadn't really kicked in a bit, so I was able to hold on to the gap and get a pretty good enough run out of that corner onto the back straight to keep about a 5/10 gap, which was enough to stay ahead. But then I think Sam had a little bit of slide of the rear end and he fell back to the cars ahead. And so for me then it was just about managing that 3-odd second gap and making sure I could make it to the end as cleanly as possible.
So coming in tonight, new track, new driver to the Australian Open Nationals. Where were your sights set at? Was it top spot? Were you going to be happy with 5th? Going to be happy to finish in the top 10?
Really, I was just aiming for a top 10 finish. That's usually where I am in FDL, but I love the street tracks. My best results in the normal season have come from street tracks. No wins in the normal season yet, but managed it here tonight with a bit of chaos. But it was just, I just wanted to keep it out of the wall pretty much. That was my main goal, and really happy I could make it work.
Would this be your biggest title, biggest race win in your iRacing career?
Definitely my biggest race win in my iRacing career. Not won anything in leagues outside of I got a podium in FDL and a few top 5s, but this is my first.
So just to give the people out there that are sort of like, how do you get into this? The achievement of the FDL. Just give them just a how does it feel to be the Australian Open World Nationals champion, right? And just explain how hard it is to actually win this damn thing, and you've done it in your first attempt, mate.
Well, there's a lot of preparation went into it. Coming into this one, obviously we had another big race this morning, which didn't go as planned for our team, but prep for this one was key. Getting a lot of laps around the track and just doing as much as I can, and not necessarily being the quickest driver out there, but keeping it as clean as possible and running my own race.
Being a smart driver out there, you always have to be the quickest to win the race. You've got to be prepared, be in the right place, the right time, and put all the plan in place, mate. You are now the Australian Open Wheel Nationals champion. That's an amazing thing, mate. So for me, that's a massive congratulations, mate, to come out and do it in the first hit. That is sensational. So you keep going strong, mate, and anyone who wants to go out there and compete with the lads like this, join FDL. They're racing out there, the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club and SRW, and you could one day maybe wave that same flag as this legend.
Angus, just before we let you go, mate, I echo exactly everything Sinka's just said there. An enormous achievement for you, especially early in your infancy of sim racing here, mate. But I can't help but notice your profile picture down the corner here. A young karter in the real world. How's all that going for you, and how do you balance that with your sim racing, etc. and so forth?
Well, I started by karting back in 2021. I finished that at the end of this year, or end of last year, and I've just sort of been having a bit of fun in an old 2005 Mazda 3, doing what I can around here, doing some hill climbs, doing some dirt stuff, having a bit of fun. So all this stuff is about fun for me, just doing what I can, having fun, and obviously winning an event like this I'm really happy to achieve such a thing.
When you say around here, give us a jurisdiction, give us a state. Which part of the world are we talking about?
All the way down south in Tasmania, doing...
Aha! The Apple Isle. Very nice. Very nice. Lovely part of the world.
Tasmanians in our league as well.
Absolutely. There's a guy actually up here, believe it or not. A guy up here from the Cartworks. His name is Nathan Taylor. He runs that operation now. Formerly, of course, Lynn and Rod Franks, great karting people, ran that business. Lynn's still with us. Rod passed on a few years ago. But Nathan only mentioned to me today. I caught up with him because I attended a charity car show, which I'll mention in a few moments' time. And he only mentioned that he's heading down Tasmania way in the next couple of weeks or so. So if you've got any good travel ideas, tourist suggestions, let me know and I'll forward them on to him. Now that I've got some intel with another person from Tasmania, it'd be wrong not to take that leverage and pick that brain. Hey, what's on for you for the summer, mate? How much time will be dedicated to the car, to the sim, and what are you most looking forward to about 2026?
Well, yesterday actually did a bit of damage to the car, so that's first on the agenda to get that fixed. But other than that, all done until January. As far as sim racing goes, just rounding out the FDL Formula Ford series and then kicking back off in the SFL next year in January as well. And yeah, as far as 2026 goes, just keep doing my thing. Hopefully doing what I can in the next AOWN events. Definitely had good fun tonight. Hoping I can back it up in the next one.
Well, as an Australian Open World National winner now, I'm pretty sure you'd just get an automatic ticket, an invitation straight back in to the field. So we can't wait to see you out there with old two-time down here, Sam Chapman, and see if you can't back it up. Question for all three of you before we wrap this baby up and pass on some final thoughts. I'm looking at the clock. It's 10:08 on the East Coast, 7:08 in Western Australia, and of course 8 past midnight on a Monday morning over there in the land of the long white cloud. Was it as good in the sim world as you know it is in the real world, the Adelaide Street Circuit? Did it live up to your expectations?
Oh, I mean, from my perspective, it was. I thought, as I said, I drove what parts of the track I could in the Honda Jazz last night, and they've put a bit of concrete down in some of the sections, so you can't take the full racing line. And so, in some ways, it's better from that perspective. But yeah, no, I think it lives up to it. I think it embodies it well. It's you can feel the bumps, you can feel the roughness. There's actually one thing I actually did want to go check out last night is that the turn 4. I found myself the rear flicking out as I came out from that exit. If I had any lock on, I was like, I'm interested to see what this actually looks like at ground level, and it does very much crest and come over the top, hence why that rear was sticking out. So yep, I think they've got the laser scanning pretty much spot on, and outside of the pretty poor frame rate at times, you have to really turn down the settings. I think they've done a pretty good job.
Nick?
Yeah, well, turn 8's non-existent in these things, so that was a bit of a letdown, but apart from that, no, it's fantastic in these cars. So Yeah, it's pretty good.
You can't say the same for turn 2 or 3. Oh, geez, the amount of carnage we've seen in there tonight, that'll make the highlight reel for all the wrong reasons. Unfortunately, all the carnage through turn 2 and 3 tonight, I think.
Yeah, the size of these curbs means you can't touch them at all, or you're in the fence. So.
As my niece would say, from about is the live broadcast nearly finished? Nearly.
Rushing you along,
bear
Zach.
with us. Sorry.
They're rushing you along. The fans are rushing you along.
I know.
Doing Sinka's job.
I know. Exactly.
It's JP and it's JP
Everybody's
Matty
giving me the hurry up.
Kate.
I haven't even had the opportunity to say Merry Christmas yet. Get there. No. My niece used to have a saying: "Floor is lava." So in this instance, curb was lava. If you hit that, goodbye. Who haven't we heard from? Gus, your thoughts?
Yeah, look, I love any street track on this service and in this car as well. It was a really nice track. I thought it flowed really well, especially those sort of 90-degree corners through the end of Sector 1 and the start of Sector 2 were good fun to just sort of send the car around. But yeah, it's really nice to have another street track on the surface and as well on home turf here in Adelaide.
Indeed, it is. Again, I'm getting the hurry up. I'm getting rushed out of the room. Gus, have you thanked everyone that you'd like to thank, please? If not, now's your opportunity to do so.
Yeah, just of course, big thank you to the team, Everything Simulated Racing, Scott, Tristan, Tom as well for running FDL. Congrats to all the guys in FDL for taking out their team's title. Of course, Sam, you kept me honest the whole time and really had me stressing those last few laps. Nick as well on your podium. All the other drivers and of course you guys for putting on such a great event for us. Thank you.
All right, very nicely done, gentlemen. Thank you. You may go. All the very best for Christmas and the New Year. Look forward to seeing you out there when the Australian Open World Nationals returns in 2026. Go well.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Shows the competitiveness of the event, doesn't it, Sinka? When you got 3 clubs and all of them represented in many different ways, shapes and forms, and obviously the way in which we got to that top 3. We'll talk about that for a long while. It looked like FDL were going to go 1-2 there for the longest of time. It didn't eventuate that way. Cold tyres, the pressure of those tense final moments, all those different varying elements. But to have 3 clubs and 3 representatives, 1 from each club, on that podium at the end of the night speaks volumes about the quality and the calibre of all 3 clubs at the moment.
Oh, look, it does. It doesn't really matter who's come where in the team championship. At the end of the day, that just sort of gives us that little bit of extra conversation to have. It's a full hat tilt to all the members out there that come out, and the open wheels have been a neglected form in my perspective out there for a long time. It's been a very big focus of the V8s, and GT3 is not too far behind it. But I think we're finally getting to a position where the Australian Open Wheel Nationals has become a pinnacle, and the Australian Open Wheelers out there and the leagues that are developing are getting better and faster and more professional, and it's I think it's amazing. It's still got a long way to go, but I think we're on the right track and we're doing all the right things. We've got a great bunch of guys behind there. It's the boys that put all this together. It's not me and Zach are just some guys that
we get the good part.
Yeah, the good part that we did the bits. With Dougie Gowans, who came to see me, a year and a half ago to, let's do something about this, because I've been wanting to do something, and Dougie put the suggestion in my head, and it was that's it. Let's have a chat. And we've got out there, Adam Maverick and behind the scenes. You got Barb's our race controller, with also the race controllers from your side as well. Gowans, Hudson, Tom Donahue, yourself, Zach. Trucker Joe's in there as well. So there's more people that are out there. Then there's also our admins from each of our own series that get involved in this sort of stuff. Correct. As well. So it's something that's growing, it's getting bigger. I'm sure there'll be more leagues that'll pop up soon as well. But, if you want to get involved, you know where you got to go. We're all doing it. We're all having fun, and fun's a key word about it all. And it's just going to get bigger, better, faster, harder.
It's an increasingly growing competitive market, is this sim racing caper, and it's been one of the real beneficiaries of the world going into lockdown 5 years ago. I'll keep saying that because it's the one thing that we've taken from that really weird 2 years of our lives and run with, and it's remained part of our new normal. The old normal's no more, but our new normal now incorporates sim racing. It has been the big winner out of all of the last half a decade. We'll get to a couple of other things in just a moment, but from a GSRC standpoint, I just want to thank all the people that make it possible for us to do what we do here, and that includes Disruptive Labs, Waste Options, Trophy AI, Pantech Industries, Sprite Insider, merch.tgsrci.com, and Flash Graphics. Not too late to grab yourself some GSRC merch and paraphernalia in the lead up to Christmas. Merch.tgsrci.com, or of course gsrcmerch.myshopify.com. The links of where you go for all that information. And do yourself a favor and check that out. I hope our team are doing a late deposit into mailboxes in the lead up to the festive season. There's the lay of the land. There's the championship points. The GSRC actually lose the crown emphatically tonight. 186 SRW, 283 FDL, 388 points. So they were 105 better than SRW, 202 better than the GSRC. A combined effort would have seen us climb over the top, but that wouldn't have been fair in any way, shape or form. FDL have come in and swept the carpet and done so very, very convincingly. They've just carved it up. And they'll be bragging about that one for a few months yet, no doubt. That was a very comprehensive performance from them tonight.
So they should. And
so they should, absolutely. Yeah. We did the same thing. It was if it was our Sinka. Hopefully seventh time lucky for your SRW mob.
Mate, you know what? It's just to be part of the competition is an amazing thing. I do have to reach out to one of your sponsors, Disruptive Labs.
Yes.
We couldn't get it on the rotating screen in time. But they are one of your lead title sponsors, I believe, for the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. In our neck, yeah, they are. So, mate, I've got to. Don't worry, I've got to share the love. I don't hold it all for myself. But a big thank you for all the sponsors that we all have out there. As far as Sim Racing World, we get the backing of, the Grim Industries, the guys that make those amazing coffee tables. If you watch the Top Gear Australia, you'll see it there in the interview section, the VA coffee tables, but they're also doing, McLaren tables, Ferrari tables, all this sort of crazy stuff. Warren Brown Tools. So if you're a mechanic or someone who's into the high-tech world of fixing things, you get out to those guys. They have some amazing equipment. Shunt Scenery's Greg Barber's business. If you're into flight simulations, which is another growing sport out there, he does a lot of VR 3D rendering and works like that. Phoenix Driver Development for any V8s and Gen 3, Gen 2 supercar training, one-on-one or team. Get a hold of those boys. And I can't stress hard enough MOZA Racing, who's become a big part of what Sim Racing World has done for 2025. And they are investing heavily in Europe and the US at the moment. So hopefully they'll stick around with us and keep it going. But, mate, you mentioned the times that came through, the tough times for COVID and how everyone got into sim racing. It's not a game. A lot of people still think it's a game out there, but it's not. This is a simulation, so it's the closest thing you're going to get to without spending tens of thousands of dollars. I should say $20,000 to $40,000 at a pop per weekend, per year. Some of these boys outlay 20 to 30 grand for their equipment. Entry level is about $2,000 onwards, and it's a sport. These people train like any athlete does. 8 to 10 hours a week. It's some play cricket, some play football, some play soccer. Some play chess, but this is the sport these guys choose, and they're very serious competitors, very, very serious competitors. And not unlike the real world of racing, it's exactly the same in the simulation world. Everything comes around from sponsors and, people that support people on track, off track. It's all run exactly the same way. So, hats off. We just see carrying the flashlights, the cameras and stuff like that, mate, to let these guys shine. The real credit goes out to these drivers, 37 drivers that come out, battle for a podium, and put it all out there and put on a spectacular show. Share the views out there, let everyone see the the carnage, but also the amazing battles, the two wides through the chicanes, the two wides in the hard braking zones, the last send it, the Danny Ricciardo style into a corner. This is what it's all about. Get these guys, get the eyeballs on the shows that we do. Support all the leagues, Gentlemen Sim Racing Club, FDL, SRW.
Sinka, final. I want to wrap up with a couple of other odds and ends from around the world, and I need to obviously cover what's going on in Bondi for the benefit of everybody. So, last comment from you before I do that and take us out, mate. The year it's been magnificent, but when does 2026 start for the SRW crew?
SRW will start the weekend of the Monday after Australia Day weekend. So the public holidays will start our first round of round 9 for season 1 of 2026. It's going to be spectacular. Got a lot of new things we're doing. We haven't released a lot out at this point. We'll be releasing all the series and all the tracks and everything like that in the coming weeks. So keep your eyes peeled on all the social media, all the videos, all the YouTube sort of stuff. It'll come from there. Tuesday night V8s as usual. Wednesday night the Super Formula Lights. Thursday nights the GR86s, and Sundays is going to be something new and special. We do have the GD3s, but something else is going to be coming on board, which we can't talk about just yet. But it's going to be a hell of a blast. And 2025 has been an amazing year for sim racing all round, and especially for the Australian Open World Nationals. I think having 3 clubs collaborate to get something special out there like this is no easy feat, and full credit to Tom Donahue, Josh Coe out there for listening and coming on board and seeing the value in us combining it. It's not one club making all this money or anything like that. It's no money made. It's all about just getting the community around it. So yeah, it's a special time to be involved in sim racing, and we'll leave it at that for now, because there's some sad news that Zach's going to get into. It's my wife's sitting behind me all night. She's a photo editor for one of the newspapers, and I know that she's not in a happy place at the moment, so I can say that a lot of Australians aren't going to be in a happy place once they've watched the news.
No, and about this time 11 years ago, we remember sitting here, the Martin Place siege. It was around about this time 11 years ago. It's been a horrible afternoon down there on the world-famous Bondi Beach. I want to get to that on the closing thought. I want to finish on the positive and then finish with that. Sinka, to you and the rest of the SRW crew, thank you for your efforts throughout the course of the season. All the very best for the off-season and Christmas and the New Year. We can't wait to team up again in 2026. To the FDL boys, well done again. You've just carved up. No one here to actually toot your trumpet for you, but well done. To the victor goes the spoils. We will look to break your stranglehold on the Australian Open World Nationals at some point next year. Big thanks to MOZA Racing, of course, for sponsoring this event. And a huge thanks to our crew from the platforms, the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club, who have put on an enormous season. We run the Australian Open World Nationals on a Sunday night for the first time. And, of course, they moved the start on me. I was stitched up about this. They moved the start on us from 7:30 to 8 o'clock. They said, we need to cater to Queensland because they're a little bit behind. They're more than a little bit. Don't worry about that. So we pandered to the minority to bring you an 8:30 race start instead of an 8 o'clock. Don't blame me. But, yes, we will finish with these two things. Firstly, the Perth Scorchers. Scores are level there. They've got 7 balls to spare. They need 1 run to win that first match of the Big Bash. They'll do so by 6 wickets. 4 for 113 plays, 5 for 113 at the moment, but 4 for 113 the Scorchers. They need 1 run off 7 balls to win the first match of the BBL season, a revised 11-over fixture after rain earlier in the day. As that was unfolding, we're sitting through the rain delay. 7 cut away from that to breaking news from Bondi. New South Wales Premier Chris Minns has just confirmed that now 12 people have been killed as a result of those horrendous events on Bondi Beach in and around the Bondi suburb this afternoon. Just unfathomable that this has played out on the eve of Christmas. The motive, the reason, that'll all become clearer in the course of time. There is one gentleman that is being saluted as a hero tonight for stopping one of the gunmen in his tracks. If you see that gentleman around in your travels over the course of the next few weeks, do him a favour, buy him a beer. He's earned it. He needs it. If the events that you're seeing play out on your television this evening, I mean, we've been here. This was always planned to go ahead. Had we got the wind of the Bondi news 2 or 3 hours beforehand, we probably wouldn't have gone ahead, quite frankly, because our server was already underway by the time that news filtered through. So we've been able to offer you guys, along with the Big Bash, an alternative on what's an otherwise very difficult, very sad night, but you can guarantee that the next couple of days there'll be rolling news coverage of the events from Bondi. Sky News, the ABC 7 and 9 primarily. They'll be rolling through the night with the events of Bondi. 12 people have lost their lives this afternoon. Many more, including police officers, are injured. And our thoughts are very much with them. We are thinking of everybody in Bondi tonight. And obviously, if you're planning to travel to the area in the next couple of days, I'm not sure you're going to be able to do so. It's a very, very harrowing scene down there right now. I've got Sky News Australia's feed up on my TV here in front of me at this point in time. It is just absolutely horrific. And to think that that's happening in our own backyard, just 2 hours down the road from where I am here in Cessnock, it's just, yeah, I haven't got the words for it at this point in time. But we end on that note. We say thank you very much for your company throughout the course of the evening. Our thoughts are with everyone down in Bondi and anyone impacted by the events of Bondi right around Australia at the moment. And don't hesitate in reaching out if you need to, ladies and gentlemen. I was at a charity car show earlier in the day, and well done to Maddie Hill. She's now raised over $98,000 over 9 years of her car show there at the Newcastle Kart Racing Club. Firstly, for breast cancer research, but this year it was a dual fundraiser because half the money went to breast cancer and half the money went to the Black Dog Institute as well. I won't go into the reasons of that for the moment, but yeah, over $7,000 raised at that car show today. It's a pleasure to be involved in that as always. It's usually the event that starts my summer / ends my working year. Tonight it's the Australian Open World Nationals. But I think because we mentioned the Black Dog Institute, there's a nice correlation there in the sense that we can also remind everybody at times like this, when you're watching all those horrific images on the news and you've been caught up in it, or you know people that have been caught up in it, or you got family involved or whatever. I've heard from a lot of people already. Most of my friends are safe and well, and that's the main thing. They're rattled, obviously, understandably, but they're safe and well. But don't hesitate to reach out to the Lifelines and the Beyond Blues and those organisations that are there in times of crisis, ladies and gentlemen. They'll be open. Their hotlines will be operating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. New South Wales Police will be filtering information out as they get it, news outlets as well. But already the police and the news services have encouraged people to reach out and speak if they need to. So please do that. We're going to say goodbye. We're going to go and get an update for ourselves with regards to what's going on there. Our thoughts are with everybody in Bondi. Congratulations to Angus and the FDL squad who are winners tonight in the Australian Open World Nationals on a night where it feels as though that factors into insignificance with what's going on in Bondi. But Angus adds his name to an honour roll that is steeped with legends now. He is now an Australian Open World Nationals winner. FDL go back to back, and we look forward to your company after Christmas when we do it all again. Season 24 for the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, term 1 of 2026, coming your way from late January. Until then, on behalf of Dan Yeaman and Steve Sinkovich and the entire broadcast commentary and production team here, this is Zach Coben wishing you a very good night, all the very best for Christmas and the new year, and our thoughts are with everyone in Bondi. Bye for now.